I'm just updating Instagram so I can go live there too. So if you'd rather watch me on Insta, you can. I'm going to give that a couple of seconds because it's almost done. But welcome to the video review of the Beast Wars Seacons. Yeah, so I got this a few weeks back and I have just fallen in love with it, both as a set of 5 figures, one figure, and a combiner, just like all the aspects, all of them. So yeah, we're doing this. Let's get the Instagram up. It's almost ready. So this figure is actually one I've had in my closet for years and couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to open it. And one day a few weeks ago, I was feeling the not really anything I wanted blues, so I decided to crack her open, and I do not regret it at all. It was the right decision. My only regret is that I didn't do it years ago, but also not because like I needed it now. So for all that means. Uh yeah. That car has eyelashes. That's weird. There's a car outside that has eyelashes. Why would you put eyelashes? I get it. I mean, like, what if an Autobot was a car that had eyelashes? So, I'm not sure how, but there's oil in my coffee. Not, not a fan of that. Oh, Instagram is taking forever. So, we're gonna obviously start with the individual bots in beast mode, but yeah, let's get this wagon train rolling. I'm opening up Instagram right now for all of you who aren't here, which is all of you. All of you are not here. And I'm frankly disappointed. Oh, man, Instagram is taking forever. There we go. All right, let's go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This is the quality content you've all been asking for. All none of you. Go live, go live. What's taking this thing so long? Boop. And we're live on Insta. I hope I'm not sideways for you guys. It looks like you... All right. I'll ask them when they come up. When anyone if anyone comes up. Hang on, we're telling more followers to join your video. Yeah, that's probably sideways. That's lame. You're lame Instagram. Okay, so who are we starting with? Well, shoot. Oh, there he is. Guest of the hour. All right. Hey, Cyber Metroplex. I'm going to ask you, am I sideways for you? Do I need to rotate my camera? Or do you see me, horizontal mode? I need to know. Because I don't know. But right now, I'm doing a live review of the Beast Wars 2 Seacons and God Neptune. Pretty much my favorite thing that ever happened. Okay, so I am sideways on Instagram. We're going to rotate that. And cool. Yeah. So we're going to start with the individual bots. I was telling YouTube, all of YouTube, because everyone is there, everyone, that this is like pretty much my favorite thing that's ever happened as far as toys go. I've had this set for a couple of years and I left it in the closet and I never opened it. I wasn't sure if I wanted it. And I don't know why I thought I wouldn't like it. I guess the reviews for it that I watched were pretty rough. Like, people were saying, like, the joints weren't very good, and, you know, this and that and whatever. And I didn't like the colors on King Poseidon, Piranacon. So I ended up getting the white ones. I kind of lobbied, I don't know if that's the right term, for Hasbro to make the King Poseidon Piranacon set because I knew if they did that, they'd recolor it. And then I bought the recolor and never opened it. Like, I don't know. I had like a whole campaign on Instagram for the pot up Power of the Primes Seacons just to get these made, and then I never opened them until now, and they're genuinely spectacular. So, very happy to have this set. We're going to start with, I believe this is Sea Phantom. Now, I put Metroplex to sleep on a pillow and under a blanket. I don't know. I don't know how to handle that information. Anyway, so throughout this video, I am going to be reading live chat that, depending on where you are, YouTube or Instagram, you may or may not be able to see. But for the purposes of the wider video, I will be reading out the comments I'm responding to. So, just for future reference, I don't want him to catch the yellow. I do that with, okay, that's why you're doing, I do that with these. Because I don't know if they yellow. Like, I'm afraid just to have them in sunlight right now, because, let's see, RC. Oh, absolutely adore RC. She's gorgeous. Love this Cyberverse toy, but the yellowing is horrible. And I think, here we go. This is one I probably like even more. Hammerbite. A couple of months in, he was sitting up there. He wasn't even in direct sunlight. A couple of months in, he straight up turned green. And like, it almost works. It like frustratingly almost works. So like that really upset me. I didn't know that certain types of light bulbs can have that effect too. So I had my blacklight shelf right by the window, which I had a lot of white bots that yellowed. Tigerhawk yellowed to a lesser degree. But the one that really tore me up was poor little Beast Wars Ichard, which I took her. It's a her to me. I don't care. I took her and I dipped her in hydrogen peroxide under a blacklight for days. Like, I took the white pieces off. I took her apart, and she's a lot better. I think I need to give her another treatment of it, but yeah. Oh my God, the difference was night and day. Like, she wasn't as bad as like RC or Hammerbite, but it was rough. And the Seacons seem to be on the fence of that line where Hasbro did and didn't have the yellowing problem the last couple of years. So I'm not sure. So if anyone's out there and they have the Seacons and they know whether or not it's a problem, I would love to know. Oh, as far as the specific Hydro product I used. It was, I believe it was the hydrogen peroxide 3% antiseptic oral debriding agent. Whatever. Since 1903, Rexall. Not an ad. Hurry! Okay, I'm reconnected on YouTube. She's just clawed out of me. I actually didn't screw the tentacles back. Actually didn't screw the tentacles back on so I can take them off and change their position from one mode to another. I know, parts forming, but she looks better when like the extra flap is inward rather than... Ooh, that's the disadvantage of not finishing screwing her together. I'm glad I didn't end that sentence early. I don't like how that looks. So, did that again. Let's not break the extremely rare and expensive Japanese figure, shall we? Okay, so... Alright, so we are going to start with the individual bots, starting with Sea Phantom. The names on these get weird because, you know, there's like 3 versions of these guys. There's the the King Poseidon version, the Piranacon version, and the God Neptune version. So the names get weird. It gets even weirder when I gave them my own names. So Piranacon is the American side of King Poseidon. King Poseidon is the Japanese side, and they're Snaptrap and Turtler. Yeah, Snaptrap and Turtler. Whatever. They've got all their names. I believe this is Sea Phantom, which I wish he wasn't Sea Phantom, because I wish the Manta Ray monster, he's not a Manta Ray, he's a Manta Ray monster, was Sea Phantom, because I believe the other one, King Poseidon or God Neptune, not God Neptune, Piranacon version is Sea something. I can't remember what. Sea something. So, and it was very similar to Sea Phantom. So, like, and plus, like, the wispy ends of the manta ray, like, it feels more like a ghost phantom. I don't know. Like, that should be Sea Phantom, but whatever. Siege Magnus has been sitting on a shelf for a couple years, and only his spine yellowed a little bit. It's just dirt. Clean it. Take an old toothbrush to it. I have the Kingdom Magnus, and he's fine. He's not. Most of his white, I think, is unpainted. So, whatever. Anyway, Sea Phantom. Yeah. Oh, I can't think what his other name is. Shoot. And I can't look it up because both my phones are shooting this video. But let's see here. God, what was his other name? Anyway, they're all Seacons, I believe. I believe on all three sides of the divide, they're Seacons. So, but for me, this guy is Seafang, spelled with a PH, because he's cool. That's how you know he's cool, is when you spell something F with PH. Yeah, that's how you tell someone's from the 90s, or 80s, or 2000s. Fuck it, he wears Jenko jeans. So, yeah, this actually is kind of a custom. So, let's get him off here. Here is, you're so confused about Rise of the Beast Mirage. So let's not do any spoilers in here, because for us Americans, Rise of the Beast, as far as I know, has only been out for about a day, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone. So if you have a question that's not spoiler related, I did actually just watch Rise of the Beast last night. It was really a Transformers movie. Like, there's not much else to say about it. As a hardcore Beast Wars fan of season 1 and 2, seeing my boys up on the screen, that was great. Rhinox didn't talk, so, like, you know, Rhinox is my boy, if you can see him, and he's in the family photo there with Full Metal Luff and Full Metal Luff and Shooty and my son and my wife and me and Brad, Exilian XLR. Some of my favorite people, IRL and not IRL. But anyway, so Sea Fang had these feet, these big, ugly Sideshow Bob feet, and I did, like, you can tell the thigh, you know, hip to thigh is the same piece, different color, and then it's this part. And on Ripper Snapper here, the lower part, this part of the leg, was this blue, and I really hated these Sideshow Bob feet. So I took the pins out, I spray painted the blue silver, because it really very easily matches the color scheme on the rest of the God Neptune crew. And yeah, that really just looks so much better. So for a long time, I had this idea of, like, an alternate Beast era telling, where the start of season 3 onward was like an alternate timeline. So same universe, no universal rule changes, but the timeline was just different. Something happened that diverted it. So Optimal Optimus never happened. The Transmetal 2 Megatron never happened. The Transmetal 2s were very different. Like, the ones that you got in the show were not the ones that we're getting in this timeline of mine. And I don't remember why I brought this. Oh, I had this idea to have a Transmetal Jetstorm, who I never came up with a name for. I had Transmetals for all of the original 3 Viacon generals. Tankor was Tankylor. He was an Ankylosaurus that had a tertiary tank mode. Thrust was Velocitor, and he was the clone of Dinobot. So he had Dinobot's genes and the Thrust Shell program, and he had the Rampage Spark, the core, and well, not about Thrust. Anyway, so Jetstorm would come along, who I never renamed, because they're technically still different characters, even though they have the shell program of the Viacon Generals without the organic hate. I had this theory that maybe Megatron wrote those programs before the Beast Wars were over, and he finally implemented them when he became, Viacon crazy. So Jetstorm was a pterodactyl who had, when he finally got to Cybertron, would upgrade his missiles to these like hound missiles that could deploy from his wings and then would have legs and could run along the ground like Transmetal 2 Cheetor did with the rocket running, and then like collide with whatever the target was. So they literally like sniffed out the energon of whatever they were targeting. So he's combining the best part of a Bloodhound with a missile. And that's what this guy reminds me of. Bloodhound missile. So you see that I put the 2 of the guns facing backwards as thrusters. And what's really cool is that I have a few different flame effects that work in these, and oh my goodness. It's just nothing I love more than that. Which reminds me, where'd the other flame effects go? Oh, there it is. I found it. So one of the things, if you have Ripper Snapper, any version of this mold, you know that it has a butthole. So if you really want to get low road with it, you could get low road with it. Yeah, that has been many a setup. If you're here because of the post I made about this live review, you have already seen the attack on Scorponok with this. But yes, the Bloodhound Missile Land Shark is God tier. This is God Neptune tier. Like, no joke. Anyway, Cheetor was my favorite of the Maximals, and RC or Mirage were my favorite Autobots from Rise of the Beast, says Cyber Metroplex. Sorry, I'm getting used to your name because you just changed it. Yeah. Whew. Rise of the Beast favorite character. No spoilers. Man, I was mad when Pete Davidson got cast as Mirage because he really gets on my nerves. And not like even his IRL drama, like just that guy, the way he performs. And Mirage was really enjoyable. So I was a little pissed off by how much I liked it, which is good. I would rather be mad about liking it than mad about hating it. So, other than the fact it doesn't give me something to complain about, which is like my favorite thing to do. I'm a Zennial. That's the best part of the Gen X and the Millennials, and I'm both of those things. So, looking at Legacy Metroplex's box, rip Inferno. Yeah, Inferno typically does get ripped. So, anyway, not in a good way, and not in a gross way. Butthole. Anyway, Bloodhound Missile. So, just the ferocity of this thing. Like, one of the things that bugs me a lot about the overtly G1 designs is they end up boxy, and the design ends up not really having a lot of personality. This has that sort of Generations vibe, like early to mid 2010s Generations vibe, where they like took the essence of a character but also tried to like modernize it or twist it in a little bit more of a traditionally cool way. And that's what this feels like. Kind of this whole set. Because, well, and I guess you could say that about Power of the Primes and Combiner Wars in general, is a lot of it was stylized. But, this set was, they were remolds, but they weren't recolors. Like, these design elements that are theirs, not the arms, not the legs, except for the custom. You know, the torso is the same as Ripper Snapper, but like the head, and that's it. I'm realizing now it's just the head. Just the head and the fin, I think. I don't know where Ripper Snapper went. Where'd I put him? Oh. Yeah, the head and the fin. Just adds such a ferocity to this guy that old Rippy Snappy just didn't have. Like, that jaw is pathetic. He's got an underbite instead of an overbite. Like, I guess it doesn't matter because he's a shark and their teeth interlay, but speaking of interlaying teeth, like, this guy freaking has it. As the beast modes go in this set, 100%, this one's my favorite. So, yeah, I don't have enough good thing. It's amazing how much better this set is than the, my brain's shorting out, than the, Abominus it was produced from. Because let's see. He was made from Ripper Snapper. Coelagon was made from Blot. The Manta Ray thing, whose name I'm forgetting. Maybe, is he Sea Phantom? He's not Sea Phantom. Can't think of his name. Terrormander. What is Terrormander? What? Terror Salamander? Like, what? Anyway, Terrormander is from Cutthroat, the hands down worst of the Power of the Primes molds. And then, what's her name? Not Tentakill, Scylla is from not Elita one, the blue one. The blue woman Autobot. What's her name? What's the blue woman Autobot? Moonracer. Dark of the Moonracer. Which I guess would be the the Wreckers. They're Dark of the Moonracer. And then the turtle guy was obviously made from Hunger. I actually have a really, really unhealthy obsession with all things Abominus for some reason. Because, okay, so where did it start, right? Like, I had G1 Blot as a kid. A, didn't know it was a Transformer. B, didn't know what it was. C, didn't like it. Like, there was nothing. I just looked at it. I got it as a hand-me-down from my cousins, and I just didn't know what it was. So then the next Abominus element in my life was the Prime Abominus, TFP Abominus, which there's a whole bunch of them that have crashed right here. I bought those, and like it was, I think, the first beast combined. No, because I had Magnaboss and Tripredacus first, but it was the third beast combiner I had, because in the early 2010s, I would have done anything for more beast figures. And if you'll notice, there's quite a few beast not combiner, what do you call them? Predacons from TFP. I bought them all. The only mold I didn't, well, I got it, I didn't keep it, was the Grimwing one. That horrible gray and green, just awful bird. Like, it was such a bad toy. It was so bad, I actually returned it. It and TFP Shockwave, both of them. Freaking hated them. So they went back. But anyway, so I got obsessed with the Prime Abominus. I love how crazy of a design it is. Like, I love Tripredacus. I gave him feet so he was taller, and Tripredacus. Like, I'm obsessed with the beast combiners at this point, and still to a degree, since we're here. Anyway, and where was I going with this? My memory's gotten so bad. Oh yeah, they had that knockoff. They had like that bigger than deluxe knockoff. Like, individual modes were bigger than a deluxe KO of the TFP. Terracons. Rise of the Beast was yesterday. And just, I went nuts for them. Like, I found a set, I repainted them. They're, I don't know where they are right now, actually. Where are they? Anyway, I love them. I loved that set so much. I even bought the 2 Hasbro Deluxe upscales, which are just such a cheap sellout on Hasbro's part. Such a cheap sellout on Hasbro's part. Um, but I just love this set, and I really ended up falling in love with this guy. This guy is the breakout star of the Terracons for me. So, and then I got another KO of that TF Prime Abominus set. What? Last year? Early this year? I don't know. It's like smaller, like the individual modes are smaller than Deluxe, but the arms are bigger than the other one that's where the combined. I don't know. It's anyway, I have so many others. So when Power of the Primes Abominus came out, I jumped all over it. And yeah, I did not like it. Not not good stuff. It wasn't good stuff, man. It was cheap. And like this set, this one specifically has a problem with the headstand connected. Like they really needed to pin it. They really needed to pin this. But the Power of the Primes Abominus is so bad. But regardless, I have it. I haven't sold it. I think the only reason I haven't sold it is because I absolutely love the Sinner Twin. And I guess I like the Blot. Isn't that sad? Not multi-hundred, but like more than $100 figure, and like I can't even think of a reason to keep it outside of one of the 5. But whatever. So, Sea Phantom. I feel like there was something I wanted to go get to show you guys. Oh, I do need to go get the Power of the Primes Abominus components, so I will be right back. I know right where they are. Oh, no. So many toys. Okay. Yeah, when you get old, you make noise like that. So who do I have on Instagram that's watching? All right, because I got no one on YouTube. Anyway, so I've got Seafang with a PH. Also, so there's kind of, I like the layers I added to these names, and admittedly, he has the weakest name. But Sea Dog, it's there. Oh, okay, I have no one. Sad. Anyway, so Sea Dog, Sea Fang, because he's got fangs, Sea Phantom, it's got that layer, and then the PH spelling for Phantom. Yeah. And then all of the names kind of have something kind of dumb about them and punny. So his dumb thing is the PH, which he thinks is cool, but you and I both know not cool. So it's kind of what I love about it. It's what I love about this set. It's what I like. There's such a weirdness to it. So yeah, beast modes definitely. This is the set for me. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say about this. Oh, for whatever reason, if you want to do the leg thing that I did, let's see if I can find out which one it was. Can't even tell I fixed it so well. One of these legs, when I was getting the pin out, straight up just tore off right at the joint. Like I can't point at it. It's right at in the cylinder of the joint, and like I glued it back on, and I put glue inside of both of the hollow points on them so that it would be less likely to happen again before I spray painted it silver. I don't think I have to worry about it, but like if you're wanting to take yours apart for the purpose of giving either your Sea Phantom or whatever this thing's name is, the Ripper Snapper legs, I definitely recommend being really careful. The second one I didn't rip, but so Cyber Metroplex says a live action Unicron trilogy. That's what we're so kind of spoilers for the next 30 seconds. Not really, like, but also kind of technically. It's about Unicron in the movie. It's about his fate in the movie. He doesn't die. And they were talking about a 3-movie trilogy. And I don't think they're talking about with starting with Bumblebee. I think this is the start of the trilogy. So we are getting, potentially, assuming the writer strike doesn't impact it, still want the people to get paid, but depending on how the writer strike falls out, a new Unicron trilogy, which is what I wanted for the second trilogy of Bayverse, which is kind of what they started to do, but I wanted the first one to have Scourge and well, I mean, it wasn't Galvatron, but Galvatron and Scourge and Cyclonus to show up, or whatever posse of Unicron you particularly subscribe to, whoever they would be, to show up, and that be the first phase, and we could have a Bayverse second trilogy, Unicron trilogy, and it looks like now we're getting to that. They had some Bayverse music into this, so the spirit of that is kind of there. And Prime was pretty brutal in this movie, which if that's your thing, I'm not a fan of Give Me Your Face, but I'm also a fan of the Bayverse trilogy, the first one, kind of. 7.5%. 75%. That's too much. 65% fan of the Bayverse trilogy. So we are getting, Unicron trilogy quick mix, and oof, his poor foot. Oh, yeah, poor foot. So that's from our Cyber Metroplex. I hope we get Armada Sideways in live action. So Sideways was the motorcycle guy with the different heads, right? Man, so I tried to watch Armada. I did. I don't think I even got 20 episodes in. I get it confused with G1 because I got a certain number of episodes into season 2 of G1 and I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't. And it was kind of the same thing with Armada because I wanted to watch the UT. I did. I was done. I had watched all Beast Wars. I had deigned finally to watch Beast Machines again in 2011. And I was like, I want more Transformers. They got the same voice actors for Optimus and Megatron. Maybe it's a trilogy show. I could not get through Armada. Oh, I know people like it. I know people do, and I'm not dogging on those people. Enjoy what you want. I'm into some weird stuff. I just I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't get through it. Megatron was such a putz, and but anyway, Armada Sideways threw me. And the green not Constructicon guy, Scavenger, he threw me. Didn't like it. And they were the ones that switched sides, I think. Scavenger was pretending to be a Decepticon, and Sideways was pretending to be an Autobot, and Scavenger finally joined the Autobots, and he sucked. He was like Rhinox without any of the good stuff. So he was just a lazy, big green, which Rhinox gave a big green one time, but that was the best thing that ever happened. Armada Starscream is my favorite Starscream of all time. My favorite Starscream is none of them. I don't like any of them. Probably Cyberverse, just because I like Cyberverse, and that's the only G1 style cartoon that I'm really into. It's the number one that I'm into. Even including the Bayverse as far as Starscream goes, because Bayverse isn't G1-ish. It has G1-ish elements, but so does Armada, and it's a very different creature. So, yeah, probably Cyberverse Starscream. He's a pretty good shithead, and I love how he looks. Oh, his deluxe figure from Cyberverse. Oh, baby, that's a good toy. And these missiles that come with him, oh my god, that might be my favorite blast effect. Just because, and you can't actually do that. I had to make a special pin for it to work with 5mm ports. But for Scorponok, I can just leave the pin inside of his little claw. And, can you see that? I just leave the pin inside of his little claw. And, I'm going to move Instagram over, because I feel like you're getting less than YouTube is. But, yeah, that might be my favorite blast effect. That's just... But I get why people like Armada Starscream. He's got that, like, even aside from like his anime bad boy, you know, uh, Shishomaru appeal, showing my age and my depth of weebdom in one move. That's efficiency. Even with that, even like that appeal aside, I get it because he's got character development. He's got his own style, like literally in his design. He's the one-winged sword dude, which, that's an anime thing, right? I'm not an anime fan. I had my anime phase. I left it, I think, in my teen years. No, early 20s, because I was still trying to make anime happen. I was still watching Death Note and Blood Plus and Wolf's Rain and like two other shows with blood in the title. Oh, it was a time. It truly was the time of all time for anime. So, anyway, that's my stuff on Starscream. This is Seafang. I'm guessing I should get to transforming him. But yeah, so I put the little blaster thingies pointing backwards. I don't know whose weapon goes with who, and I don't care. In fact, there's two of them that I leave out of this set. This is one of them. I actually think it might be his gun. And I'm only saying that probably because of the fin. I'm not, well, there's actually any science behind my logic on that. Or maybe only science behind my logic on that. Anyway, I've actually considered spray painting this silver so it can fit with someone else, because it's really only going to work with a white character now, but this off-white doesn't match anyone else in my... Like, if you don't get the whites right, you can't put two off-whites together. And, like, I did it with Ripper Snapper because I don't care about Ripper Snapper. He broke almost immediately, and he sucks. In fact... So the break on Ripper Snapper, let's cover that right now. Not Mech Tech, what do you call it? I still call them Mech Tech ports, the 5mm ports. His port broke pretty early on after I got him, and so what I did, if you can see it, there's some stripes on the outside of the port there. That is where I cut up a straw and glued it around it, because it just cracked. It just cracked. And so it still worked technically, and I think I prefer this guy as an arm. But either way, you want the port to work, because it's either supporting the entire combiner or it's got the hand in there, and you don't want the hand falling out, do you? So I got some glue, and it seems to be holding fine. The straw fought me a little bit on adhering to the glue, so I had to switch super glues, but it worked. And so far, it's holding pretty well, because you don't want to put any glue inside the port. You're going to make it too tight, and then you're going to stress it again, and it's going to break again, and no one needs that. No one needs that hassle. So, but yeah, off-whites, like, he looks bad. I don't care. I don't care, Ripper Snapper. You suck. The only thing that's good about you is that you created him, and he is awesome. So, we're going to go ahead and... You just bought it. I can't deal with that now. So I'm going to go ahead and transform this guy into robot mode. So all of these are going to be, I leave out two weapons. There's another weapon somewhere else that I leave out. All of these are going to go into whatever configuration I prefer, because I think one of the things, me with toys is weird, because I have to have input on the design to some degree. And what that means is I have to be able to customize it or put it in some sort of formation like that makes me happy, other than the stock whatever. And I think like emotionally that just makes me more involved. Like, it gives me an emotional investment in the final version of whatever. And this set's been great because there are not so many, like, it's not like super customizable, like how you orient things, but there's enough that, with the exception of actual customization, which I've done, obviously, just this one, and even then, like, I could put the feet back on, it would be this exact same toy as it came out of the box. But there's enough things I can do that it makes me feel like I'm having input on the layout and final look of everything. It's... So this one's a bad example, but it is genuinely amazing how much bigger all of these feel. They're so much bulkier. There's so much more going on to them. They come with a lot more accessories. They come with a lot better accessories. Oh, I gotta cover that too, don't I? I gotta cover the accessories. I gotta grab 2 things. I will be right back. 3 things. 3 because 2 of them are the identical. It could be 5 things, but it's not. So one of my things with the individuals of a combiner is I want everything to go somewhere, and I want each mode to look good. And I'm really not okay with many exceptions. One of the exceptions I did make was Triparticus. I bought 2 of the clear blade, and then I never got a hold of the missile launcher. So I put the clear blade on the little arms, on his right arm, and one of those clear blades doesn't have anywhere to go. And I don't care. He looks so much better with the 2 and not that stupid shooty set. Oh, the wing things. Like, I leave those on the wings of CicadaCon. But this set came with 4 of these hands, which are okay. No, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. I don't like how they look on the combiner. They feel too big. And it may be because I don't have any other of the Gen Selects combiners. So, you know, I'm used to the standard, like, Combiner Wars HFGs. And those are really cool. Like, I don't think the Combiner Wars HFGs got enough love because they're so versatile. Like this, yeah, you can switch the thumb. But you come with, you know, 4 of them. You don't need to switch the thumb. And then it's got the little gun thing in the back of the hand, and it's just, I don't like these. And then, like, on top of it, there's nowhere for them to store. Like, you can technically store them on the individual bots, but, like, it looks like a hand. And to a much lesser degree, the feet. But they actually do some things. They're not full hand-foot guns because they only do the foot gun thing, and they have another function, and we'll get into that later. But so I leave the hands off. I need some water. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I leave them off. They're just like they technically are really cool. They only can serve one purpose, or they look like they're not served, like they're just stuck on. So these don't have a place in this set for me. So the 4 hands and these 2 guns don't have a place in the set for me. So these go in the gun box. The hands I'm probably going to try and sell or give away because they just, I don't have anything to do with them. They're just chunks of plastic that they're not very good. I know there are people that subscribe to them. I don't like them. I gotta get rid of some of these figures. I don't have room because it's about to get a lot more crowded up in this. Anyway, so this guy. So speaking of my formations, obviously I got the leg thing, but like just as the stock figure goes, boosters, or obviously like Ripper Snapper, the over-the-shoulder cannons, I tend to leave them back, and I open the jaw. So if you open the jaw first and then put the head on, you get this sort of Rhinox cowboy collar vibe, which, yes, please. A, cowboy collars are awesome, and B, toothed cowboy collars are awesome. Slag, Rhinox, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, then we've got our just absolutely freaking amazing not Soundwave head. That is a gorgeous head. I love that. That's my favorite head out of the whole set. I think this figure is my favorite out of the set. I'm starting. So one of the reasons Ripper Snapper was so close is because he was actually performing leg duties while this guy was off being the Bloodhound missile that I love. But so continuing that dog theme, tell me this doesn't have Wolverine vibes, which I know Ripper Snapper did too technically, but like, oh my gosh! So he's got the dog thing, like Wolverine, and then he's got the blades, Wolverine. This is the Wolverine guy. This is the feral, like out for blood, out for war character of this set for me. Some of the personalities in my head for these guys are kind of similar to the Beast Wars 2 Seacons, but I kind of give them my own spin. So I think that's in his actual TF Wiki bio. He's all about plundering and pillaging. So kind of twist that. This is like the Berserker Dinobot Inferno type who just is unstoppable, rage machine, determinator, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Yeah, there's not much to say. I think we all know this mold, don't we? Like, we either know this mold or we know like mostly kind of what it's about. The way the legs collapse, the arms don't transform away. It's the same arms, which is really lame, but like, okay, you know, I'm just glad it exists. Yeah, and he is pretty. He is so pretty. Cyber Metroplex says SS Scourge is strange. He isn't accurate at all. I hope we get a remold of it that's more accurate, and I hope it isn't exclusive to Buzzworthy. He's talking about the Rise of the Beast Scourge. He's got that like head cape thing, it looks like on the toy, that he doesn't have in the movie. I don't know. I haven't really looked at the studio series too much for Scourge. I've gotten Cheetor, and it's not good. It's not a good toy. Everybody's saying like it's one of the best Cheetors in years. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, it isn't. I like the deluxe Cheetor. I don't know where he went, but I like him. It's better than the Kingdom one, even though it's based on the Kingdom one. So, but yeah, you know, I can't say much. This is before the angle tilt era, but because of the, you know, combiner duties, he does have the waist swivel, and because of transformation. Still has the power of the prime port. Ugh, prime armors. Ugh, weak. I mean, it's the same thing, just with, you know, knuckle joints. You know, so whatever. This guy, Seafang, this is my boy right here. And let's see what else. What else can we do with this guy? We can do cool things with him. There we go. Yeah. So for some reason, I like the idea that these guys have fire weaponry, because like they're water dudes with fire weaponry. It makes them feel more unnatural. They have a Cthulhu vibe. This whole set to me, it's got like sort of a nasty, I don't know, you know, Cthulhu, just a mismatch of sea things and maybe other things that aren't sea, and it's just the whole. I almost called the combiner Cthulhus or something like that. I can't remember what it was I came up with. Well, it was something along the lines of like inspired by the old ones, which the old ones mythology is pretty cool. So say what you will about the guy that made it, it's cool stuff. Anyway, Cyber Metroplex says also Stratosphere will be a core class due to listings. That sucks. When he showed up in the movie, like as he's flying in, I was like, I need a commander class or Titan of this. Like a Titan of that would be awesome. And then he was in like 3 scenes. He didn't. I mean, he technically did things, but he only had, I believe, 1 line in the whole movie. Got no fights. Like, I feel like this is acceptable spoiler territory because it's like, yeah, I think Cyber Metroplex says he needs commander or leader. I think he needs commander or Titan. Like a Titan of him, especially if he like expands more in vehicle mode. You know, package him in robot mode so that you can ship him out in like the arc size boxes. But that vehicle mode, if you can actually like make it where it hollows itself out as he transforms and expands into his vehicle, that would be cool. Like, who wouldn't love that? And it's like the best of both worlds because it's like, A, the vehicle mode is hollow, so you would actually take up more room in vehicle mode because of how much of those things just don't, you know, how much negative space is in vehicles. And then also the interaction with it, like things you could do with it. And then, you know, when you have it, when you're, you know, finding a place to store it, it's like, where do I put this thing? Put it in robot mode. It's standing straight up. It's taking less space, you know, width and depth wise. It's tall, but like, I don't know. That's, you know, I've almost bought Revenge of the Fallen Stratosphere so many times, and I just, All right. So we're going to move on the other leg here. And again, the way I do things, my formation is Seafang and PhelesDragon form feet and legs. And I will do a final combined form for this review, which is I'm 1 in and 50 minutes deep. I better cut some time. Yeah, we're gonna try and speed through these from here on out. So yeah, let's get him into his little best mode here. Turn the head around. This guy, while based on Blot, has kind of a unique transformation because his forearms end up in his, like, behind his mouth, which Blot's arms just were his arms. Like, they slightly transformed, and that was it. And this guy doesn't use the robot arms at all, which A, I appreciate, and B, they get mostly out of the way in beast mode, which it's a hard sell for me to say that Seafang is my favorite beast mode, because I also absolutely adore this thing. This thing. So PhelesDragon or Gulf or I don't remember the third name. I can't remember the Piranacon name. Can't think of it. Whatever. I'm going to remember 2 names for all of these, and then the third name I came up with for all of them. But, yeah. Oh, the paint job on this. The colors on this. The red eyes. And then, like, the aqua metallic eyeliner and the gold. Just, oh, he's so good looking. This is so much better than Golf. This is so much better than Golf. And his little flipper fin things. He's like a dogfish. He's like a dogfish. He's like a fish doggy. Which, like, I know I did the wolf thing with him, like the you know, the missile bloodhound, but like dogfish. That's what this is. Dogefish, which is what I should have named him. Instead, I called him Scoldfish, which I also love, and my son knows, and is hilarious to watch say. So I did do a little, it's not a customization of the figure. I made this pin, so I can get it out to plug into his port there, that little port. It's half of a 5mm Lego Technic port pin, and then I used a 2-part epoxy to put a nub on there, which I know what that looks like. I know, shut up. And I painted it silver. And then I have this dagger knife from Dark of the Moon, Ironhide, and it plugs on there. And so when he's in leg mode, well, it mounts on the side, and it's like a little dagger that the combined mode can grab. And then this guy can use it too. I know I said earlier I want storage for everything in all modes, but this is the one where it's like, whatever. Because different people use it depending on how I feel. Like, either when they're broken up, sometimes I give it to the turtle, sometimes I give it to him. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. But the color match on this, like, it's a little bit more bronze than him. But, the silver, like, it works so well. I'm so glad I kept that. I did sell my Dark of the Moon Leader Ironhide years ago, but I was like, I'm keeping this knife. Because it's just, I knew I'd need it one day, and I did. I needed it for this. It was an adult need for this toy. So I didn't collapse that all the way, but it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just chill, guys. Don't even worry. Cyber Metroplex says, just saying, with no spoiler, the Rise of the Beast post-credit scene warmed my heart. I was going to try and make a joke, but I couldn't come up with anything because I'm actually tired. Coffee time! And now water for my aching throat. Cyber Metroplex says, Rise of the Beast Mirage has so many remold opportunities and repaint opportunities. For who? Who? You know what I wanted in that movie? An F-bomb. You know, I missed the Bavers F-bombs. First movie didn't get one. It almost did. It almost did. When Simmons was firing the flamethrower at Frenzy. And he was like, burn, little sucker, burn! And I originally thought he said the F word. But he didn't. But then, like, each movie from then on got an F-bomb, and they got progressively funnier. So, like, Michaela said it when Sam got shot by Megatron, effing do something. And then John Malkovich got it when he saw Bumblebee in Dark of the Moon. He's like, effing awesome. And then you got the, how do you say, get the F out of the way in Chinese in Age of Extinction, when they were in a hurry. And then the best one, I don't care what you think of Last Night, there were a few gems in that movie, and one of those gems was Squeaks just transforming the biggest gun in the universe out of his little Decepticon hand and just going and blowing the crap out of the gun emplacement. Pretty good part of that movie. Pretty good part of that really unwatchable film. Cyber Metroplex. Garbage. Oh, yeah. I'm glad they didn't explain how he did that. Spoiler territory, but anyway, Scoldfish. So you can kind of see his little hands up inside there. I don't know how much you can see it. They are in there, so he's definitely gonna choke on whatever he tries to swallow, which in this case is his own fists. But man, what I love about him is, like, you can do the T-Rex thing with his little limbs sticking up, you know? Yeah, right? But then you can also put him kind of down on all fours, like he's just like gingerly touching the ground. Just touching it right there. Love him. Love him, protect him at all costs. So, the TF Wiki personalities that I did mirror with these guys is the Beast Wars 2 Seacons. So in that, he's the oldest one. So I'm sticking with that. I'm saying he's a Gulf that developed sentience. He's the first of the Beast Wars 2 Seacons. So if you don't know, the Japan side of things for King Poseidon, everyone in the Seacons is a drone, except for Turtler. Turtler. How do you say it? Is it 3 syllables or 2? You tell me. They're all drones. Turtler is the only... Turtler. I don't like it. Turtler is the only one who has a sentience, like a personality, and the rest are like Viacon drones, and they all form King Poseidon. So the Beast Wars 2 Seacons, Japanese. There's no American version of these guys, so like that's why I came up with my own names, because they deserve it, right? Anyway. Also, post-credit scene colors would be funny. Oh, yeah. So, hey, I'm going to text a guy right now. I'm pausing this. All right, we're reconnecting on Instagram. So, here we go. I was just texting Exilian XLR, who is pretty much the coolest guy in the universe. Like, absolutely love that guy. Go follow him. He makes the... I'm sorry. He makes the funniest Transformers reviews. I can't tell you how many Transformers I've bought because of that guy. Animated Oil Slick, Cybertron Fangwolf, or whatever it's called. I got it right down here. Because I'm a filthy, filthy beast of fun. I can't put it like that. Can't put it like that. That's dumb. This guy, stellar colors. I did get a Landquake from his landmine review. Which I didn't end up keeping that one. I kept it for a while, but it wasn't my speed, but I bought it because of him. I didn't buy AoE Drift because of him, but I did love it more because of him, and I was very sad to sell it because I love his AoE Drift review. Scoldfish. So, he is based on something. I don't know. Some animal that's extinct or not. I don't know. He just looks cool. You know? Protect at all costs. This is your old grandpa who, you know, maybe he can't do as much as he used to, but he's still full of wisdom, and he may be forgetful, but you love him because he's adorable despite his wrinkles. And this man, he has the wrinkles. So, yeah, I'm losing that pin cleverly slides between the legs and plugs into that port, and that's how the fishtail connects. Brilliant. And then the fishtail is his gun? How dare you? You know, this puts me in the mind of the actual Beast Wars weapons integration. Good stuff, guys. Really good stuff. I think the feet are just blots. Where's blot? Like the shins? Yeah. It's just blot right there. Same thing, but the way they integrated it against the head, and then this fin fits right between them. Two fins between this guy's legs. Just good job. Really, so the head is new. The forearms, these arms are new. The upper arms on the robot are the same, but the lower arms are different. I think the hands are probably the same, and I think everything else is the same. But like, the vibe is so different. This figure is the only one that transforms this way out of this mold. So like Blot and Ripper Snapper share a mold and transform differently, and then this guy transforms differently than those two do. So he has like a third transformation scheme of the same base mold. Great use. Like, I don't mind that kind of stuff. Because A, the colors add so much to him, and the parts they did add, like, this thing was a little pricey, but totally worth it for the way they integrated it. And I don't care that they used existing molds, because I'm just happy to have it. Cybermet says, Nightbird was my favorite Terracon, but she was... I'm not getting into spoilers on Rise of the Beast, but boy, you are not wrong. Anyway, so let's see here. So we're going to get into the transformation on this guy. I kind of already did part of it because he was kind of halfway to robot mode just by being in leg mode. He's kind of the biggest pain in the ass to turn into the leg mode, which I prefer him as. I believe God Neptune uses him and Sea Fang or Sea Phantom or whatever the third or fourth name is to as arms for God Neptune. But these guys work better as legs for me. And actually, I'm really sad they didn't do Nautilator, Lob Hammer. Lob Claw, Nautilator, and then Lob Hammer is the Beast Wars 2 Seacon character-only repaint of Nautilator, or Lob Claw, which I would have probably stuck with Nautilator for him because A, that's an awesome name, B, it sounds like Waspinator, and C, Nautilator is kind of the Waspinator of the Seacons, at least in the, I think, the American side of things for Piranacon. And Waspinator and Nautilator, please, somebody make like a late 80s, early 90s style sitcom of those two living in Manhattan, just trying to make it work in like a really crappy apartment. Please do that. That's the TV. That's the TV we deserve, but not the TV we got. All right. Not the TV we need, but the TV we deserve. Anyway, so kind of a similar thing I do with him, the jaw, and you can fold it down after it's connected, unlike Seafang. You can kind of fold it. I did it too much, but you can open it. And actually, no, I don't do that. I forgot I don't do that. I think I leave it closed. What do? I got to look at it. Bumblebee was the worst part. I was happy when the thing happened, but then I was disappointed at the end. You know, so that feels a lot like a spoiler, but to kind of like springboard off of it without getting into spoiler territory, I've really changed my opinion on Bumblebee as of late because I have a 3-year-old and he just loves Bumblebee. Look at that guy. Look at that guy right there. Tell me, there we go. It's hard. That's the most I can stretch. Tell me that's not a cool toy. My kid loves it. Gave it to him for Easter. Bought it for like $12 from China from Mr. Joel Sir Toys. I don't feel bad about it because I bought the original, the deluxe, for me years earlier, and I have it, so I don't mind spending money on the knockoffs if I already have the original. Playing a little fast and loose with morality there, but so you can either leave his little pawpaws up or put them down. If you put them down, they kind of rest there on the back. I think the little pawpaws look cuter up. Little pawpaws. Yeah. There they are. So, yeah. That's our boy, Scoldfish, with his extremely 80s flat top haircut. Boy's rocking it. Which is, if there's anything more 80s than the Piranacon colors, which, you know, sometimes the 80 color schemes I can forgive, but his was rough, man. Like, yikes, Piranacon. So again, you know, I love white robots. I love alabaster robots. I used to be all about black ones. Like, back in the day when I was into Digimon, all about Black War Greymon. All about Cyberdramon. All about Beelzemon. But, man. And, you know, maybe it's the part of me that was into anime, but, like, the color white associated with death, and then you combine that with, like, the Cthulhu robot element, and, like, these guys would worship the Dweller in the Deep from Cyberverse. Tell me they wouldn't. Perfect, what do you call them? Innsmouth analogs. That's what these guys would be. Yeah, 100%. I need to get a big printout of that scene of the Dweller to put behind at the back of one of my shelves and put these guys in front of it just worshiping it. That would be my shrine. Found my religion. I'm a Seaconologist. No, that sounds like a Scientologist, which everyone should not talk about because we all like living. Anyway, not talking about your religion, buddy. Just not. So, also, got the little Pointless of the Primes port. So, yeah, good guy, though. Really good. Not my favorite robot mode. It's okay. You know, that's a chunk right there. He's got a big old chunk back there. So, this one's a little bit disappointing as the robot mode goes, because, like, the beast mode is so far. I feel like if the robot mode on this guy was as good as the Wolverine dude, I think this would maybe be my favorite. Although, Bloodhound Missile, man, that goes so hard, and it just, like, I know I put that on it. Like, I know I'm critiquing my own idea and saying it's awesome, but, like, come on. What could be scarier about a missile than if, like, the only thing that could make it scarier is if it was literally sentient and Predator drones. That's basically, you know, it's a Predator drone. Predacon drone. All right, so we're going to move on to, what are we at, hour 10 deep? All right, we only took 30 minutes for old Scoldfish there. We're going to jump into the realms of the bizarre and get to the reason I didn't open this pack for so long. And what I found was the reason I didn't open this pack is actually one of the reasons I love this pack. So, the only female on the team, they decided to make a tentacle hentai squid monster. Really? Really? So this is sort of my own formation of her. I think the original has the tentacles up. So once again, they can gingerly touch the ground as though she were a quadruped, which I feel like gives her a little bit more. I don't know if it makes her objectively better. I don't know if the leg boobies make her objectively better or not, which we can get more into that later. Those are the row boobies. Yeah. I like... Like, I hate how much I like this stupid thing. So yeah, this is my formation. I actually swapped the back legs because of this. It doesn't really change much other than how these legs look as kibble in the other modes. I like the four-leggedness it gives. However, for the people that want her to look like the version in the Beast Wars 2 cartoon, and I have watched a couple of the episodes with them in it, and the one with Tripledacus, the Japanese version of Tripredacus. It's weird. But if you want something that looks more like that version of her, what you're going to want to do is do the leg swap like I did, because she's got the forward knees. Rotate the base here, the lower half, that puts these tentacles forward and these tentacles on the back, and they sort of wrap around like that. And, yeah. Also, why hasn't Legacy Rampage happened yet? I don't know, man. Boy needs it. Can you see him? You see him? Yeah. But, you know, I did a custom on Rampage, moved the crab legs to the shoulder pads. So kibbly. He is a kibble god. He is. Absolute. And what's kind of neat about it is... Did something slide? What's kind of neat about it is as soon as you get the kibble up on the shoulder pads for old boy here, it's a statement. Holy crap! It's a statement about how much of a crap he doesn't give, and I kind of love him for it. It was a long time I didn't like it, and I think a lot of it was the toy, because the toy just doesn't handle it well. IDW Megatron has the best written Megatron. Yeah, I don't know. I don't read IDW, sorry. Transmutate, but no Rampage. Yeah, the Transmutate's too small for my Rampage, though, so... Because she should be, in robot mode, taller than his robot mode, which is separate from the rest of him. Because the rest of him is a lot taller, and, I mean, look at that. Absurd. Straight up. Oh, speaking of Cthulhu-esque sea monsters, him, man, like, the seafood, like, I'm so into, like, sea stuff right now, Transformers-wise. So, yeah, you could do that, which is very reminiscent of her cartoon self. But my final version... This is not even her final form. So we go back to dog squid mode. Oh, I didn't tell you her name. So we've got Seafang, we've got Scoldfish, which I feel like I don't have to explain Scoldfish. You get it, right? You get why it's cool, you get why it's punny, you get why it's dumb, you get why it's. Yeah, I thought so. This one, some of them I did try and incorporate at least hints of their other names, like Sea Fang, Sea Phantom, Sea Dog. You know, it's all in the melting pot, and it's all getting mixed up and coming out as Sea Fang. This one, we got Tentakill, we got Scylla, Skylla, Skylla, because she's a killer. I should never do that again. I'm not doing that again. Because she's a killer, and because she's Scylla, like the sea monster from the Odyssey or Ulysses, depending on which version you read in whatever middle school is called where you're from. And so you got Tentakill, Scylla, Skylla. That's the American name for her for me. But once again, this is not her final form. So one of the things like, it's cool that they all have the little blades, but they just don't work as individual blades. Like the middle sword that the turtle guy uses, it's good, but these, they're not great. So you can kind of fudge it, and you have to like kind of crack her transformation, not the sword. Like you kind of have to put it like that, so that the pegs are slightly farther apart to fit in these holes. And you can kind of fudge it. So you see where it's sort of pulling her apart at the top, but it's not stressing anything. I cannot stress that enough. It's not putting anything at risk. Oh, baby. Queen Scylla. She's a queen. All right? Yes. Yes. Terrifying. Yes. All right? There's already a friggin', what's it called? 4chan thing about it. Like, there's gotta be, right? This is a hentai tentacle monster. Love it. Perfect. We got Titan Nemesis. Where is Vigilem or Iaconus or Metro Titan? Iaconus from Cyberverse. I would like it, but what I would love, forgot his name. I was going to say it. I know all that drama. Croatan. I always have to go from Crouton every single time. I love Croatan. I love the way they introduced him. I love his colors. I love his look. I love his personality. All this stuff. Croatan. I know they never will do a Titan Croatan 5 years from now. They'll have done it. And I want it. I want it so bad. But yeah, this is my Seacon Scylla. What is this thing? Why do I like it? This is the reason I didn't open that set for all those years. And I freaking love it. It's so bad. I still am sad. Still am sad we didn't get our Beast Wars 2 Seacon Nautilator. But what you gonna do? When they come for you, canceled. All right. So not much else for her. The little hands are in there, which kind of works as like a suction cup. I mean, it's just, yeah. Obviously, it doesn't have the anime girl lip thing they did with her in the Beast Wars 2 cartoon. If you've seen it, again, I don't know why you would have, but obviously because it's just a repaint. And yeah, I know my formation has the row boobies forward. Not intentional. I like the four-legged thing better, and it works better when the tentacles are the front legs. It kind of gives the impression that like she could like throw the tentacle forward and then like drag faster as the back legs are because have you seen a chicken run? Like those mothers can move. So like she's got the chicken legs and then she's got horrible demon. Imagine this chasing you. I'm giving time for you to imagine it. It's awful, isn't it? F in the chat if it's awful. So anyway, we're going to get her into her robot mode. So this, based on Moonracer, is going to be a kibble monster of epic proportions. Nowhere near Rampage, nowhere near as cool as Rampage. However, still pretty good. Let's see, what's wifey got to say? Toys on my table. Oh, he left. I need to be waving at people, don't I? Like literally, not pressing the button. No one's been on YouTube. I'm very sad. But you know what? We're not doing this for you. We're doing this for me. Just really the quote from Watchmen in my head. Because like, if the best thing to come out of that movie, which is many things in my opinion, because I actually genuinely like that movie, is Rorschach. Best thing in the comic. Best thing. Did I overspin your waist? I think I did. Best thing in the comic. Best thing in the movie. And that performance. Oh, what's the guy's name? It's like a woman's name, but it's also a man's name, like Kelly. Like, I can't think of it. Not Stacy. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Stacy's mom has got it going on. Stacy, can't you see? You're just not the girl for me. I know it might be wrong, but I'm in love with Stacy's mom. All right, channeled my Star-Lord. We're done with that. We're not going to do that again. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not happening again. So Cyber Metroplex says, God, I hate her even in the cartoon. She was awful. She's just all the worst anime stereotypes of women that you could possibly think of. But there's a girl on the team, so it's okay, right? It's not okay. It's not okay. So her little tentacles back up on her arms. Nice touch. Easily could have not had 2 extra pieces and could have just... Oh, what'd I do? Did I break something? There we go. And just left it like that, but they didn't. So now I don't know if this is a leftover. I think it's a leftover from Moonracer because their hands tilt in. Maybe not. I thought they tilted in on the back of the thing. Back of the vehicle mode. But whatever. She's got a little joint there. Don't know what it's for. Those pop out easy. Once again, a joint that could have used a pin. Whatevs, man. Like, that's fine, I guess. So, yeah. Entire beast mode sans, like, the 5 head for her legs and the tentacles on her arms. And I guess technically the torso, but, like... I mean, it's fair, because the Roboobies are definitely for this mode. So the torso is... torso is equally shared. Once again, we got our 80s flat top rocking, which chicks with 80s flat tops, we'll do it. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Would. Live action Shattered Glass would be insane, but unlikely. I don't know much about Shattered Glass. I know it's like Starscream's a good guy, and that's about it. That's all I know. I know they made toys. So, as I've mentioned, that is her bootay. You see? That's her butt. I mean, that is a negative ass right there. So, like, that's one of the anime schoolgirl stereotypes that we're glad did. Oh my god! She's the anime schoolgirl and the... You know where I'm going with this. I don't have to finish this sentence. I don't. Anyway, yeah, one of the stereotypes that didn't carry over. So I got to remember exactly how I did this. Because I want everything to go on every mode and look okay. And the most okay I can get this is the least okay of any of the robot modes. You know, I say that, and then the turtle guy has a lot going on. But I think, like, objectively, hers is the most not cohesive. So let's see. So you can take the handle, and there is a plug-in spot inside of these. And then what I did was, and you've got to get it, like, just right. And one of these legs is a lot tighter than the other, so I got to figure it out on that one first, and it helps to pull the kibble down. But there's a port on the inside of the leg. You can see it. So you got to get it just right. So that's... I think that's kind of how I had it. I thought it rested further back. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. So... that, if you want to screenshot it, if you want to do my version, that's you, man. You do what you want. It's your toy, but if you like how I did it, that is specifically the formation I have it. It doesn't interfere with her cowboy collar, which is nowhere near as awesome as old Seafang back there, but is a cowboy collar, so I'm counting it. And it comes with bonus horror deterrent. So where some people might wear eyes on the back of their beanie, to deter tigers from attacking them in the jungle, or leopards, or what have you. This little lady, in her infinite wisdom... Okay, so now I said that, and it doesn't fit now. Like, it actually... Okay. Alright, because there's a lot of, like, little... There are a lot of things these weapons do that, like... So there's, like, half a back peg on these guns. Can you see it wiggling up and down there? There it is. Yeah, because a lot of these guns, like, plug together and then combine, and I don't like any of those gun combinations. So this is what we're going to go with. So screenshot that instead, or whatever. I don't care. Do what you want. the pegs, so like there's slots right there that are plugged into these like tiny rectangular pegs right there, and it's not a good connection, especially when you're like screwing around with. So anyway, so that kind of gives it like a railgun vibe. Twin mounted railgun, shoulder mounted railguns. Oh, that's awesome, right? Right? So yeah, a good time. This is a good time. This is a lady who knows how to throw down, who knows how to love, and knows how to party. That's who this is. Love. Kissy lips. Party. Yeah. Flat top. And throw down. Railguns and leg, shin, side blades. And oh yeah. No, this is not great. It's not. It's not a great figure. But I think in terms of like storage, I'm glad she is taking the brunt of the sword, because it kind of matches her color scheme, which you can't really see in this mode, but she has the bulk of the team's bronze. Everybody kind of has like a main color. Like the Pteramander has like gray, and Seafang is... Okay, they don't. They really don't. But Scoldfish has gold and she has bronze. And then the turtle guy has the teal for the team. So, anyway, we're done with her, I think. Yeah. That was only 20 minutes. That's not bad. That's not bad. We did it in 17 minutes. So, Skilla, like a killer, rolling up to the villa like she's not the warfare gorilla. Skilla. All right, now comes the problem. Oh, damn it. I didn't do it. So I use these Combiner Wars HFGs. This is from BotCon Tigatron. And then a similarly silver one came with Combiner Wars Sunstreaker. It's the same mold. This one's got a lighter gray here, which matches Scylla better. It's not exact, and it actually... I'll do it when I start transforming for the other modes. For the combined mode. But I can kind of shove it in the back, and it gives her like a booster, so like if she jumped, she could boost, and it technically is in the beast mode, and then it can be a gun for that mode. So, yeah, she's hauling a lot of shit. But I originally tried to stick it on Pteramander, but as like underwing jet engines, because it does have like a literal engine block in it, which I know is not what they use on planes. Don't care. These do not match any sort of scientific genome, so eat me. All right. So as Skilla was the one I was looking forward to the least, and actually kind of turned me off the set, because there's only 5, you have to use her. So I was like, I'm going to be disappointed with this combiner no matter what. So it put me off for a while, a couple of years. And whereas she was the one I thought I was going to like the least, and ended up loving for how just freaking weird she is. One of the ones I thought I was really gonna like, I don't, and that's Pteramander, because I love Depth Charge, I love Manta Rays. As a kid, I have a little story about the Beast Wars McDonald's Manta Ray, that's his name. Now this isn't the one, because I lost almost all of my toys from back in the day in a house fire in 2005. But this was the last of the Beast Wars McDonald's toys. Actually, this was the last of the McDonald's set I needed from both the boys and the girls in 1995, because I believe these came out in 95, the year before Beast Wars came out. I got all the girls' toys because I liked all the little animals. Fuck you, all right? Okay? I liked the girls' toys. The kitty was adorable, all right? This was the last one out of the 8 that I had, and we went to McDonald's that day, and all the toys were gone. And I remember this woman manager. I must have just like looked devastated. Keep in mind I was like 10, okay? I was born in 86. So maybe 9 because it was 95. And I turned late in the year. It's October for me. And I saw her like look around and like think for a moment, and she walked over to the display and ripped it open and pulled this guy off the cardboard for me. And I never got like the sticky off his chest because it had like that foam sticky to make it mount, but she just freaking gave it to me, man. Like, oh my God. I wish I still had that one. Obviously this is a different one, but like that's gonna go with me for the rest of my life. So anyway, so yeah, manta ray, Transformers, manta rays in general, blue manta rays, tied to my heart. So this one I was really excited for, and then I got it out of the box, and it's just not good. Like, in any capacity, it's not. Like, the head is awesome. The wings are cool. Too small, which is one of the main problems. And then you get to the bird butt. Who messaged me? So, I thought I had Swoop. Whatever. Swoop and Cutthroat are objectively the worst thing about Swoop and Cutthroat are objectively the worst thing about this mold. Or out of the sets that they come out of. They're just so like, you know what? I say that about Swoop, and I actually really like Swoop. Hang on. I gotta find it. Slow. Ah, there you are. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, I'm gonna put him back there for a moment. Swoop is probably one of my favorites of the Dinobot Power of the Primes toys, but it's also really cheap of quality. But he gets away with it about how kind of cute he is. But wow, this guy's bad. He's bad in quality. Like, can't tell you how many times the bird head has fallen apart, like the beak and the fin and the head coming off. It's just so bad. And then you get it into beast mode, and it's got the huge butt that this thing has. And like, this isn't even like the technically right transformation. What they tell you to do is this, which that is 100% backwards feet. Just like, and I like this on top better, but then the tail's pointing down, which matches the G1 toy, so I kind of get it, but like, it looks bad. It looks so bad. And like, the G1 toy is cute, and like, I like the design of it, but it was more compact. It was more compact, and it's just like, no. So originally what I was doing was twisting him around like this. Where's Skilla? Where'd I put her? Oh, she's up there. I was twisting him around like this, and he will technically stand that way. Not great, but he will technically balance. I know you can't see it, but like, he's there we go. If I lean him too much, he's gonna fall. But he actually holds for a good bit. I didn't like it. And then I tried, and I mentioned it earlier, I did try the jet engine block thing, because there are ports to plug those in, and that wasn't softening the blow at all. And so I was messing around with it one day, and what I ended up doing was that. So maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I like it better because A, it makes it look like it's a head and a body now, rather than just like a deformed body where the wings stop too short or are too small. You can change the position of the head to get the posability better, so that works out. And it, you can use these as like ears. You can give it sort of a personality, like derp. and, uh, and then it's got a seagull vibe, or a pelican. It's got a pelican vibe, which, we're combining animals kind of for some of these, like dogfish, dog shark, anti-monster, and, a pelican isn't a sea animal, but is a sea proximity animal. So, and this is the one that flies anyway. Like, maybe they all fly, but this is the one I remember flying in the cartoon. So, hey. So, Cybermet says, Metroplex transforms into the most nothing excavator. He looks like he's, like, huddling for safety. Like, he's afraid. Which, who would he be afraid of? He's the biggest thing in the universe. Looks menacing and imposing when his transformation is so annoying with his tight ratchets. The only Titan class toy I've ever had, and I did sell it, and I kind of regret it, but also not really, was Arc. I've talked about Arc. Was Arc. He came with the golden discs, so I really wanted those, and it was a 2-for-1, and I wanted to see that, and I figured I could, sell him if I didn't like it, which I ended up doing, but, like, I kept him for a while, but he was just shy of keepable. Like, if the paint inside the engines had been metallic, the thrusters, and if he'd had, this thing has, this thing has the frickin' fingers, if the Arc had that, and just like 1 or 2 more touches and didn't feel so cheap, I probably wouldn't have been able to talk myself into selling it. But you get here, like, the eyes on this thing. He's got a much thinner version, but he's still got the guy liner that Scoldfish has. And Terrormander. What? What is that? That's not a thing. That doesn't even... Is that a reference to something? Like Animal Transformers or otherwise? Like, I don't know. Anyway, so my name for him is Raydart. Yeah. So he's kind of my communications guy. In the Beast Wars 2 Seacon version, he's like the young guy that everything gets thrown on. He ends up being the right arm of my combiner, which kind of implies that he's, the second in command. So really, him being the new guy and getting dumped on all the time doesn't really fit with that. But I kind of thought of him like Radar from MASH. If you know him, he's like the little guy. And Radar's his tag name or whatever. And yeah, so maybe he's the communications guy, and he is the flyer. Dart, Radar, Raydart. He's a manta ray. You see where I went with this. Plus, it gives you, this. I don't know. This just looks. And granted, it's got the hole in the neck, but like that's so much better to me. That's so much better. This one is still objectively my least favorite, because the robot mode isn't great. But this is like passable to me now, whereas it just wasn't before. I didn't like it. With my Feral Rex, the Predaking Feral Rex, I would always just put Dive Bomb to the side. I hated it because I wanted to put the wings on Razor Claw in both modes, his robot mode or his beast mode. And I didn't like Dive Bomb. And then, like, I actually got a KO of Feral Rex that is Combiner Wars size that gives you 6 members, so I can throw the Dive Bomb away, keep the wings, and use the Catilla as the arm. So I'm probably going to sell my Feral Rex. Anyway, yes, gold up front, the eyes, the gold with the guy liner and the red eyes, just between him and Scoldfish, both look really good. Like, this dude looks vicious. He doesn't look like the Cheetor. He looks like the slick killer. You know what I mean? And then you get to the rest of him, and it's like massive disappointment. So we're going to get to robot mode. What is cool about this is I like using these blast effects on him. Oh, I'm not done. So actually, what the final version of this, my version, is, and it's not perfect, but it incorporates his hand-foot gun. I put the tail up there so like it's like a spine, and then his new tail is this double booster. So when he wants to fly, he can retract, like put his legs in, or shorten his neck and then fly like that. And then when he lands, he can go into land mode or not flying mode. Or he, and he could do this under the water too. And that's how he just walks around. And what's really cool about this is these blast effects fit. Someone message me? Oh, Joy sent a photo. What did Joy send? Come on. Kara. Okay. Anyway, so that, and then he can I should have left him compressed. That Combiner Wars compression of the legs, I don't like it. I don't know. They're thin enough that they could have just done the old school Generations thing where you just push them in. And I don't know why people think this is a step up from that. It takes more parts and it's not as smooth, but that could be his flight mode. And I like that. That's much better. And then he still has the extended mode. And what I like about this is you can take these blast effects and put them inside and close them up. So you have storage for his flight blast effects. And it's just, so as much as this one is definitely my least favorite, I've worked it out in a way where I think he looks better. I think he functions better. And he's got a couple of extra little touches that give him a personality and just something, an extra layer with the whole Pelican thing. So, getting to robot mode, transforms, I think, identically to Cutthroat, with the exception of the fact that his hands form the side of the head, which is really cool. And then there's like this, this joint creates like a false mouth right there, because that's where his mouth was in the show. And it was like a gear tooth mouth. But obviously, we didn't get that. I'm fine. It's fine. I would love to get his G1 toy, and I would love to get Sinner Twin's G1 toy, because I really like them. I think they're just neat little toys. The Beast Wars 2 half shell. God, I would love a Beast Wars 2 half shell. Just because like that beast mode is so cool, like the head is so cool and badass and cute looking at the same time. Like it just looks good. So we get to this guy. Yeah. The chest sucks. The legs look dope, but they're unbalanced color-wise. They don't look good with the rest of them. Cybermet says, this set is so cool. The figures alone aren't the best, but they're still cool. I disagree. This is, I think, my only combiner where I am torn on whether it's the combiner or the individual modes for me. I can't decide. Like, obviously, he is an exception. But, like, the individual robots and beast modes are so fun to me. I like having them just in general. So the only weapon then he has with my formation is the HFG, which he's open, his legs are split apart now, so we don't have storage for the blast effects, but he now has a gun. And that is PhelesDragon's take on the Beast Wars 2 Seacon Terrormander, or Raydart. Yeah, nothing else to say. The little eyes end up on the underside of his forearms, but weakest robot. His head is cool, actually. I actually dig the head. if you can see that. It's got blue eyes, which is accurate to the Beast Wars 2 cartoon, if you care about that. I don't so much, but I do like the idea that this guy's got a different identity. I kind of, don't hate the idea that maybe he was a bot, an Autobot or a Maximal who converted. So, one of the last remaining drone Gulfs became sentient, started a Seacon team, either cloning and creating new Beast Wars era updated Seacons, or what's wrong with my throat right now? Or, maybe some of them were converts. You don't know. Ha, converts. That is about as punny as it gets. Anyway, yeah. So one of the things, the colors on these guys, I know I've talked about it before. The grays aren't great, but the golds, the metallic teal, the reds, just, they're so good. And the white. The white is actually one of the reasons I almost didn't open this for so long, and not because of the yellowing thing, but it's sort of that like ape face white, Snapdragon white. But I feel like it really works on these guys because the other colors are so poppy that to have something a little more muted, but also it really works. And yeah, some of the details get lost, but there's enough here. You don't feel that loss that you felt with Snapdragon or Ape Face, where it just looked bad. And I think they had a worse version of this like pasty soapy white, and it works on these guys. I can't remember, do these? I'm gonna turn on my black light real quick. Oh, do these glow? Oh, baby. So here we go. Oh, shoot. Something got lost. Oh, there it is. Hang on. I'm coming. So this is cool. Oh, try not to break this. These actually do glow. Oops. Under a black light. It's dusty right now, so forgive me, but like, look at that. That's cool. You probably can't tell too much over camera and with the light shining from outside, but I can see it right here, and it's good. I really need to move my black light shelf so I can put these guys with it so they don't get bleached if that does happen. All right. Now on to the main event. So we've covered Seafang, Scoldfish, Skilla, and Radart. This is the last one, and the last one I named. Actually, it took me a long time to come up with his name, and I'm trying to remember what it was, but we'll get to that. So let's get him in best mode. Okay. So what's really cool about this guy is he's got the guns on the back here, which that ends up being the bottom of the turtle. But there are these. So they're plugged into a port. The port is on a slide that can rotate around and plug in to the shell part, which makes part of the shell. So you can actually avoid parts forming. And then these can either snap out or retract, depending on how you want them. Of course, for the most part, I want them out for his Blastoise effect and for the combined mode. Cybermet says, Power of the Prime's Dreadwing is my favorite jet formers. Sadly lost one wing. That is unfortunate. I don't know who Dreadwing is. I don't know if that's the combined form or one of the two. So I bought those in the hopes that Hasbro would do Combiner Wars style Seekers, specifically the Coneheads. Because for some reason I thought that the white one of the two Dreadwing set, the more white one, like the way you could put the nose cone up, it looked kind of like it could be Ramjet. Oh, I was thinking. I can't believe they didn't do Seekers in Combiner Wars style. Like, why? Like, I get that the nose cone goes in the wrong formation, but when you do the cone heads, it's right. And, like, it's not like Combiner Wars was super accurate to like a ton of characters anyway. Wheeljack, um, just like so much, like, I don't know. I was frustrated. The chest flap for the hand thing makes a good spark chamber on Dreadwing. I don't remember how that thing. I don't remember how that thing worked. Rise of the Beast Wheeljack is one of the coolest characters in the movies, and nobody can change my mind. I'll bet I can. No, I can't. But I do have a very differing opinion of it. Rise of the Beast Wheeljack was there? Kind of? Like, I feel like he was less present than Q. And less developed than Q. Like, Q's personality was evident. He was, an Einstein Q from Bond type sweet old man that just wanted to help his warrior friends win the war. And he didn't care that they were war criminals. Like, you got a lot from him. Wheeljack in Rise of the Beast, his only personality is his accent. That's it. And he's kind of Urkel-y. Yeah, I was fully down for him. I really was. But in hindsight of having seen the movie where A, he doesn't do anything, A, Wheeljacky, or B, at all, he's just a different Wheeljack, I'm Mike. There are other Mikes. That's not the Wheeljack from Bumblebee, in my mind. Different voice, different design, different personality, different guy. So let's get to Turtler. So this kind of sucks. So Turtler or Snaptrap or Half Shell is his Beast Wars 2 name. Let's see here. You kind of have to... It's unfortunate because he's mostly in his beast mode in the combined form, but to get rid of the head, you have to untransform and then untransform and then shove it in there. And it's just... It's sort of it's not straightforward, but like with how much this thing does and how much they retooled it, and when you consider that this is definitely from Silverbolt. Hi, YouTube person. Is there a chat? Let's see, live chat. I think I just turned it on. Oh, and they left. Poop. So, all right. So, considering this like the origin of this mold is Combiner Wars Silverbolt, and then it became Cyclonus, which I have, C-Clamp, which I have, Scattershot, which I have. Who else? Oh, and then what's his nuts? Hunger. And then this guy, like the stuff he can do. Honorable mention to Sinner Twin because I love him. I bought the KO upsize version just because he's so pretty. I don't know what it is about Sinner Twin. He is just the breakout Terracon for me. Rise of the Beast notwithstanding. The white jet in Dreadwing sets combiner plug makes for an interesting weapon. Don't know why. I don't remember it. Can you send pictures in chat? If you can, send a picture of it. And or tell me whether or not you can send pictures in chat. What am I doing wrong? I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Oh, yeah, I gotta transform out the legs. Where are we at? 154, and we're on our final member, and to get the combined mode. So, all right. This is... Oh, second plug in. What did I do wrong? Oh, that's got to pull out. There we go. So that's the base body with the gun still attached. So what you can do, that is the chest piece or shield. You can either fold them like that, which, but these also come off. I wish they were chromed. That is the one thing I prefer in the Piranacon set, is that he got these chromed. I am a sucker for chrome. Any day of the week. Chrome it up, chrome it, baby. So you can rotate them so that they sort of make more of a shell shape. So that's sort of the base turtle mode for Half Shell, which, bad name. it's, I mean, I guess technically he has half a shell because he doesn't, like, I know they said it in Ninja Turtles, but that was a play on words for, like, the theme song, not the name of a character. Half shell's a bit, I mean, it kind of works for this one because it looks like he has half a shell. Like, I don't like that drop. I don't like that drop. He's got a literal valley on his shell. But, again, considering all he does and where he comes from and the fact that he got made at all, I'm not actually complaining about it. What I will complain about is literally complain about the rest of the set, not him. He's the only one to feature the Predacon symbol. Which, A, that sucks, but B, I get it because they weren't on the G1 toys, and C, to see that tampoed on a G1 style combiner, right here. Absolutely love that. Oh my god. Can't send a picture in chat, sorry. Combiner plug. I don't remember the combiner plug on Power of the Prime's Dreadwing. Anyway, yeah, that just, oh my god. That looks so good. I'm so happy with that. Can we focus on, have we not been focusing on any of these toys? So that's the base mode, base mold. I didn't put the gun for Scoldfish in his hand, whatever. So then what do we end up with? We have the sword and the feet. So the feet, I did not try and make work on the guys that I use as feet. What you can do with the sword, plug it in the bottom, gives them an extra tail or a peepee, and that's not so bad. Oh, and then we got the gun. Looks strange, but well. Oh, Cyberbet sending me stuff in chat. So these guns, I just leave on there, or I give them to Radart. I forgot to bring them up. I kind of like it because what that ends up, like, if I give these to Radart and I give the top of the sword to Skilla, it means the base weapons, the gun and the sword, stay with Turtle Guy here, and it means the two arms contribute to the combined weapon for the combiner, and it feels good. And then Radart has the gun, and he contributes to the gun, and then Skilla has the sword, and she contributes to the sword. There's a real nice symmetry there. I really like it, the way I did this. Just like how it worked out. Like, so the gun you can put on there, which, yeah. In lieu of a Combiner Wars style tank, this is probably the best I'm going to get. In lieu of a Combiner Wars style tank, in lieu of a Combiner Wars style tank, this is probably the best I'm going to get. I do want to show you something real quick. Oh, that's a good shot. So as I was going through buying Combiner Wars stuff, I was really irritated when I realized that they didn't have a tank torso. And then I got extra irritated when I realized there are no tank torso combiners. Like, why? So the only one in existence that I've ever been able to find that is actually Transformers is Heavy Tread from Power Core Combiners, who I repainted the eyes in robot and combine modes to make him a Decepticon. Come on, this is Brawl. It's a green tank combiner component. This is Brawl. This is what happened after the Combaticons split up or Onslaught got killed. Oh, come on. Oh! I can't get his leg back on. The red truck has always fought me. Get the frick on there. What the? There we go. Yeah. He went to be a combiner boss later. It's Brawl. It's Brawl. It's just, it's also small. And that's, so, tank. So I really wanted to come up with a name for this guy that was, you know, indicative of the tankness, and I didn't do that. We did have a couple of options for the feet, none of which are good. And, I mean, they're okay. Like, no. And then you can take these off. And so it looks more like a gun. And then you could give these to someone else. They've got a little peg right there. Can you see it? Can you see the peg? Yeah. You could do that. But also you can't. Because literally no one can hold these. I'm not even kidding. Like, everyone in this set, like, I think, okay, so he can hold it, but no one can put it on their forearm. It doesn't fit on anyone's forearms. So, like, it doesn't work on anyone. This is a really neat idea. Turning part of the foot, the toes, into a Wolverine blade is a really cool idea. But you can't do anything with them. So they just... It's really frustrating. So, along with the dagger that I added to this set from Dark of the Moon Ironhide, these are the only things that don't get used in any of the modes, which is fine with me. It's really fine. Out of all the stuff, like, they're cool. They technically could be really cool. They don't fit anywhere. And again, the blades don't do any, like, it sucks. So, yeah. And I'm mixed about the big gun on the top. Like, some days I like it as a turret, and some days I'm just like, no, leave it off. So today we're going to leave it on, though, so you can all see. This is our tank turtle, and I thought really hard to come up with a name for this guy. And I think... So, I'm trying to remember which one I landed on. So I was going to go... I originally was like, Shellraiser. And then I was like, no, that's a Ninja Turtle thing. Again. And then I was like, okay, Shellblazer. And that's when I got the idea to give everybody fire. But I'm still kind of torn on Shellraiser. But razor spelled like blade. Because he's got literal razors. And then I thought it was like a triple entendre because I thought that raise meant to burn down. I didn't realize it meant to knock down. So it was going to have another layer to it, but it doesn't. So I don't know. But the biggest customization I made of any of these, the only one that is really permanent, is I glued a peg inside of his mouth so that I can put in blast effects. So if we do go with Shellblazer, which I'm leaning towards, yeah, that works. And then there we go. Didn't get to bring in the tank idea that I wanted to, but he can still just be a tank. Like, he's slow and heavy and big guns, and that's who he is. He's the tanky boy. Oh man, if this thing had like treads sculpted here so that you could like fold down the legs and like little treads on the feet so I could just... That would have been it. That would have been it. That would have been I would have been done collecting just entirely. That would have been the final piece. That would have made me so satisfied as a Transformers collector. But if for no other reason than like the Transmetal Echo, that would have been. But, you know, can't be everything. He just can't. And he's really close. So Cybermet says, I wish I got the Combiner Wars, Leader Class Thundercracker, or Skywarp. Yeah, the backpacks sucked, but they were big seekers. Is that what we want in the world? Do we want big seekers? Forgive me. My throat is drying up like the Mojave. Anyway, so love it. I always loved turtles as a kid, and I still like them now. I would get a turtle as a pet and then just not do anything. But don't get turtles as pets. They're bad pets. Like, they're not good for kids. It's bad for the turtle because they don't have a life. Just don't buy turtles. But as an animal, oh, he does the interlaced teeth thing too. Violent looking. Oh, love it. I don't like this head as much as I like the G1 head, even with the gap tooth thing. Just because, oh, God, looks so good. So good. He's got gold guy liner, which you go girl. That's... And then obviously the Blastoise echoes, which is your original Blastoise right there. You can get this boy on 2 legs. Let's get the sword off. It's got echoes of those really stupid slow aliens from Fifth Element. Fifth Element. That movie sucked. I don't care what anyone says. I freaking hate that movie. But yeah, I like the way this forms. Doesn't exactly give me the idea that he could like retract his head or limbs. But he's a robot. He doesn't have squishy parts. We get a new Legacy Drift, Prime Optimus, or Prime Ratchet. Drift. Which Drift do you want? Let's see. Because I got a Drift right here, and I loves him. And I've also... So this is Drift the White. I also have Drift the Black. Yeah. These are good toys. These are good toys. Oh, yeah. Here's Wheeljack, or as I like to call him, Tire John. All right, IDW or RID Drift. I think I'm only familiar with the IDW version of Comic Drift. I don't... I'm gonna transform this. I don't know anything. Comics. Sorry. Don't. Like, I should read Beast Wars The Gathering. I haven't. Hello, L. Nelson Man 1. We are reviewing the Beast Wars 2 Seacons, and we are moving on to the robot mode of Half Shell, or as I've renamed him, Shellblazer. Surely I am doing... Oh, yeah, I am doing something wrong. Anyway... Oh, he left. Nobody sticks around. Well, that's fine. I'm doing this for me. Now everyone left. Now I'm alone. All alone. Oh, someone's back. Who's there? Is it Elson? Elson Man? Prime Ratchet as my favorite vehicle mode of all Ratchets, because the G1 vehicle mode was weird. The G1 vehicle mode was just a van. It was just the, you know, the whatever he came from. So the side of the part of the shell that had the guns on it, that's what becomes the legs. So when you get it down into leg mode, you can either have the port on the inside or the outside of the leg. I tend to, I think, have it on the outside because you're more likely to see the inside of the leg, in my opinion. So, just so you see less portage, because people should hide their holes. Just, you know, most of them. Now, these are fine. You have 7 holes. Or 8. Depending on what you're wielding downstairs. Alright. It was weird. In the Honest trailer for Ant-Man 3, the announcer guy's like, do you have to count girls as 8 because of the separate pee hole? They don't have a separate pee hole. They just have a pee hole. The hole that's different for them, that's separate for them, is the baby hole. That's the thing that's different, because guys don't have baby holes. Our babies come out of the pee hole. This has got to stop. This conversation has to end. I don't talk about this anymore. Anyway, so that's the base robot of Shellblazer. So, you know, you got a couple of things you can do. I think it's pretty cool. I'm taking those off. The blades. I think it's pretty cool when you plug that in. We got our cowboy collar, although that is not my preferred version of this guy, because I try and incorporate all the pieces because I hate myself. So what you can do is, so you put the blades on, the back ports. All right. Hi, my toy collection. And then what I do is I plug these in downward style, retract the cannons, and it looks like he has a jetpack. We got like a Buzz Lightyear-ish style Optimus Primal jetpack. And let's see. What else do I do? So now this is the mode I actually use these. So the turtle's the only mode in my formation that doesn't use every piece. Because you can put those there, and then the other piece I leave off that doesn't really fit, actually it does fit onto the robot mode of Scoldfish. It's the beast mode it doesn't. Because it doesn't look good on the side of the beast mode, just as the beast mode. You can either plug it in here, or I didn't even have to make a port for this, a peg for this. There is a little nubbin right there that you can just smack that on, and it fits. And it's covered by the legs in beast mode, so you can't use it in beast mode or combined mode. But yeah, that is the way. So we've got our jetpack. I have two of these. I don't know where the other one is. I'm pretty sure my kid lost it somewhere. But you plug those in, and yeah, really great jetpack if you have two of them, especially if you have two of the flame effects. All right. Cybermet says the shovel saw Legacy Cybertron Metroplex is ratcheted and so loud. The shovel saw. The shovel saw what? What? Okay. I don't know much about Metroplex, so maybe that makes sense to people that aren't me. Cyberverse Metroplex. I don't know much about. We plug that into there, and then we can take the side pieces, the side guns off. So this is where these can go to Radar, or they can go to him. You can plug them on top of the shield there. So he's got a claw gun, shield gun. Because over the top is the way we roll. And then put the gun in this hand, the big gun, the big gun, the big gun, the big gun. And finally, and fervently, the sword. I prefer swords in right hands because, yeah. I prefer swords in right hands because I feel like you need more skill to wield a sword. Most people are right-handed, so it looks like they're preferring to use the proficiency of their melee weapon and then aim easier with their left hand, their less dominant hand, although they're robots, so theoretically they're all easily ambidextrous. But yeah, so this is where it gets a little out of hand, and I think this looks better than Skilla does. Because, like, but it's also kind of a toss-up. And, I know you're sending me stuff, Cybermet, but, like, I can't really look at it right now unless I catch it when you send it. Yeah. Shell Blazer in robot mode. Love it. Really wish it had some covers for the knees there. That was one of the really nice things about Prime Hunger, Power of the Prime's Hunger, is that you could cover them up. Like, they were either there for, I think, Beast mode and for this mode, and then in Robot mode, that was the shin, and it would cover it up. And like that, you know, that was the leg. That was really clever, and I'm sad that this guy didn't get that treatment. I think he got all new molded legs, though, so, like, the parts count went towards that sliding thing that the cannons were on. The connection for the Dark of the Moon Ironhide knife isn't great, but it does stay. Like, and it looks good right there. And if I really wanted to, I guess I could put the peg from Scoldfish right there. But, and no, that looks like, so obviously this is not the way this guy's just going to kick it, but you know, when they're when they're leaving their hideout and armed up to go fight whoever, probably Rampage, um that's would be how he looks. But everything else can come off otherwise. He's heavy. He's heavy. I mean, he's not like heavy, but like he's got the weight. He's got it. Cybermet says, I'm scared of keeping Metroplex in any light due to the white plastic. Oh, God. I know, Hasbro. Come on, guys. And it's not even white plastic. Is there, like, I feel bad for anybody who bought that Shattered Glass Starscream or, like, half of the Seekers. Or it's just, oh, it's rough. It's rough out there for yellowing plastic right now. But we get that really front and center turtle head, beast chest symbol on front. Oh, I mean, yeah, it's a target. It's impractical tactically, but tactically, I stole from you. Sorry. I stole your portmanteau's idea. Which really, all of these guys' names are just pun manteaus. Like, that's how I name these guys. Shellblazer, Seafang, Scoldfish. I think Scoldfish is the least layered. Skilla, and Radart. I think Radart's the most layered. I think I'm happiest with Radart's name. Well, no, because I had to like insert the radar thing to it and like add an aspect to his personality where he's the calm or like, you know, the scanner guy, but like whatever. So which one's my favorite? Scoldfish. I think that was the first one I came up with. And he like set the tone for how I was going to name all of these. Scoldfish. It's perfect. He's old. He's a goldfish. He's not a goldfish. He's angry and hate and prehistoric. Like, yes, it's goldfish. Metroplex stays under a cover the whole time when a light is on. Yeah. I don't blame you, man. I wouldn't want to have to figure out how to hydro that whole thing. Would not want to have to figure out how to hydro these because there is so much to them. And I don't know if the plastic could handle it. Like, if this plastic is, you know, I took a risk when I did that with Beast Wars Ichard. Like, I didn't know that was going to work. Pretty girl walked by. Shame on me. So, you know, it's a risk when you do the hydro blacklight thing. And you have to do it for a couple of days. It's not like a short treatment. So, you know, Ichard Clawjaw, as I'm calling her, she stays in the dark. So I don't know. It sucks. And she was fine when I got her. The problem is when I had her on the shelf by the window. So it hopefully won't be a problem again. I am getting... is that a bug? No. Okay. Yeah, I had to. Whatever. Oh, 2 hours and 18 minutes deep. So I can't think of anything else I have to say. The power of the Primes buck sort of stops with the legs because they have the chest port still. Obviously, most of these are derived from Power of the Primes related stuff, minus Skilla because she's, not, the Moonracer mold. So I feel bad for all the Omega Sentinel owners too. He has some white on him too. Omega Sentinel. What's Omega Sentinel? I don't know. Hasbro says that they've got the white plastic thing or the yellowing issue because it's not just white solved. I don't know, man. I saw a post on Reddit, yesterday, I think? They bought someone had the Owlbear. $50 9-inch figure that I've considered getting because, I still like Fusors, and it's an Owlbear. That's cool. But for $50, the thing that holds the two halves of the body together is like a ball joint and a ball joint on a really long, thin pole. And it's like, it's not really thin, like it's probably about that ish thick. I'm going like, you know, that's my guess from the picture because, yeah, I didn't have anything to compare it to, but it's 9 inches. But like, when you consider the two halves of the figure it's lashing together, it's really thin. And it like broke, he said it broke 30 seconds out of the box. And I'm just like, that's rough, man. So like this set, it's got some quality issues. I won't say quality control, just design issues. Like Seafang's head and Skilla's wrists, you know, pop out. I'm trying to think of what other problems I've got. Yeah, and then the Terramander mold, just in general, is based on the shitty bird mold from Power of the Primes. It's not great. What is Omega Sentinel? Is that the blue and white Omega Supreme repaint? Because I want that. I genuinely want it. It is amazing how if you will just take something that I'm not interested in and paint it blue and white, I want it. Holy crap. Yeah, blue and white robots for me. Long Arm from the 2007 movie line. I renamed him Longshot, but like, what a beautiful looking robot just because of the colors. And he's got a really cool design, minus the duck feet. So we should probably get these into combine mode, unless there's anything else I need to show. We'll do the Skill of Beast mode one last time before we go into combine mode, just so I can show the HFG the way I fudge it. I really do fudge it too. You gotta be careful when taking the weapons off her hands because her wrists will pop out, and I'm really afraid of them breaking. Like that is a thin flap of, and you heard a crack there. That was it snapping back into place from me pulling it off. Like it's not. Oh girl. She's got issues, you know, but it's hard being a hentai tentacle monster in today's societal political landscape. It's just, it's not easy, you know. I don't envy her. And granted, it's a choice. She chose this life, but I mean, this is who she is too. You know, honey, I pity you. I don't pity you, but I don't envy you either. And it's just how it is, you know. At some point, you just have to accept who you are, put it out there, and everyone's opinions be damned. You gotta do you, girl. And I respect her for that. I had to realize that with myself, that I am kind of an asshole. My therapist. Everyone should go to therapy. We're all broken, especially if you collect plastic people for a living, or just in general, not for a living. You collect plastic people. Anyone who would potentially be watching this, which right now is literally one person and metaphorically lots of people, should be going to therapy. But I think everyone should go to therapy because everyone's got issues. And if you don't, you probably should go to therapy to know how to deal with all of the people that do have issues, because there's more of us. We are everywhere. There are literally more than dozens of us. So, anyway, I had to realize, and my therapist disagrees, I'm an a-hole. I had to realize this like 8-ish, 9-ish years ago. I'm going to put her together in the formation I do again. Like, I'm going to get her all dolled up in the way that I prefer. Because I do think she's a goddess. She is. Fuck you if you don't like that. I didn't incorporate the guns. I forgot to do that. So for her beast mode, I just put the guns on there. But if you did the other formation where the tentacles are on the back and the legs are on the front and these tentacles are on the back and they're sticking up, you could just as easily put them in there and it's a tentacle with guns. I did have her for a while like that without the crown thing back there. But once I got the crown on there, which was more of a priority to me, Uh, oh, girl. You are so extra. I love her. Love her, love her, love her. She's beautiful. She's perfect. And like, it's still kind of got a seam there. Like, it pushes the limits of what together is. But this really does. Because, okay, so you've got this thigh gap here. Because girl knows how to exercise. I don't, but you do. Oh, you're coming apart at the seams. All right. Ooh. So I want to be careful with this because this is a BotCon exclusive HFG. But I can really just like shove it in there. And yeah, so she's going to have a little booster for jumps. So she's squid frog. That's what she is. She's a squid frog with boosty jumps. She's beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful. I love her. Sorry, Julie. I love her. Joy's my wife. My poor, poor wife. Then you... Okay, the only white figure in direct light that hasn't yellowed is Earthrise. Earthrise Wheeljack isn't white. Wheeljack hasn't been white since Generations. He just hasn't. I don't know why. Like, Cyberverse, the Combiner Wheeljack that combines with Grimlock, and Combiner Wars, and Earthrise. Why... Oh, so I have a theory, actually, why Wheeljack hasn't been white since Generations, and I think it might have to do with a licensing issue with the Lancia Stratos Turbo, which is one very specific race car, and by one I mean, like, you know, the Batmobile. There's one. Because he was originally, and I wonder if there isn't a licensing issue where maybe when they released the 2010 Wheeljack, the Generations one, maybe they got a lawsuit or something. And this is a guess. I don't know anything more than what I'm saying. Like, it's straight up a guess. So maybe they doled it down. Generations Wheeljack looks good. So you're talking about the Cyberverse or Cybertron Metroplex. Is Omega Sentinel the repaint of Omega Supreme? Can you answer that? Because I thought it was called Guardian Robot. I want that. I might throw down for that. And the thing that will stop me if anything does. Okay, that is what it is. The thing that will stop me is the potential yellowing issue. So I'm thinking about just waiting. I put Skilla on top of Manta Ray from McDonald's. Oh, okay. I gotta show you what I didn't mean for this to happen, but that's what it looks. All right, I'm showing YouTube first. Can you see it? God, I snorted. That's how bad it is. Okay. Okay. All right. Queen indeed. All right. All right. We're gonna do our legs first. So the leg formation for Scold. Here, let's start with the guy I started with. For Seafang it's just Ripper Snapper. So you just pop the legs open. I believe you have to. Do you whirl them around? No, I don't think you do. Yeah, the fin stays on the back, which I actually prefer because it echoes what I do with Scoldfish's fin/blaster. So in order to get these to fit... This is annoying. Or no, it's... Oh, yeah, you do have to turn them around because the head's on front and the fin is on back. So you rotate them at the waist. In order to get the knee pads under the fin portion of the head, you actually have to lift this, which counterintuitively gives you enough room to fit those in there. Hi, person on YouTube. Let me turn on the chat. Got it. Okay. Oh, and they left. I can't keep an audience today. So yeah, you actually have to lift the head, which is fine because you need to do that anyway. It's annoying when you're going into beast mode because you don't need to lift the head to get it into beast mode, but whatever. It works. The roundabout way it works is fine. I'm fine with most of the transformation scheme compromises they make for this because most, if not all, because it's just... So you want the head to be facing forward for the robot mode so that when you turn it into a knee, you see the back of the head on the back of the leg. All right. This head is on so many joints. So there's a double joint here, and there's a double joint here, and they're all pinned except for this part where it's connected there. And that, these things that hold it on are so long that it likes to pop out, and it's weak, and I don't like it. And that's unique to this mold. Ripper Snapper doesn't have that issue. Oh, and you can still do the cowboy collar thing. But I think for the purposes of the combined mode, I prefer to have the mouth closed. Feels a little bit more appropriate for the combiner. And then I lean the cannons forward so he can shoot people from his knee into their torso if it's a combiner. Probably their face if it's anyone else. Or maybe he'll have to point his knee at them. And then we get the arms formed. Which I think the best way to do it is to point the claws upward so that from the sides of the leg you get the plate that closes off the hand and it looks less like robot hands, the least like robot hands that it can. All right, and then the tail ends up back there. The legs fold up the same way they did on Ripper Snapper because these are actually Ripper Snapper's legs. Because I literally stole them from him, and that's the only reason I'm glad I have him. The only reason I'm glad I didn't sell him. All right, got to find our... Okay, and so the port that broke on Ripper Snapper is thicker on him, on this mold. They thickened it up. That said, I want to be a little careful. Excuse me. I want to be a little careful. Now, I think I make Seafang the left leg. So I tilt the ankle and then put him on. And that's our leg. Because you don't want a straight-legged stance. You want a slight A. All right, so we're going to put him down on the ground. I'm going to get Legacy Wreck and Rule Twin Twist as the Minicon for Metroplex since they didn't make drill bit. Can't you just buy a UT drill bit? That's what I'd do. I don't know. Does Legacy Metroplex have Minicon ports? I know the Armada Legacy toy is going to. The Megatron. Okay. So, Scoldfish. Halfway between robot and beast mode for that. You do have to unclip the legs because the leg stretches across the panel that opens. I open the wrong side. Compress him. Oh, rotate at the waist first because you want those dope-ass looking shins up front. That gold. All right. And collapse them in the most annoying way possible. His collapsing thing I'm fine with because... Or am I? Oh, yeah. No, because you could still fold it back around to do the beast mode. So, yeah, I really would have preferred just the... Yeah, instead of the way they do it. Probably it'll be a little too bit small, and yeah, kind of. Oh, I'm getting tired. I'm wearing out, guys. Yeah. We got a screen door that my cat ripped through. And we had a few days, a couple of weeks ago, where Joy and I were both sick, and dishes fell behind, and so we do have a couple gnats in the house. So I have to check my coffee every time, which is gross. I don't like having to do that. All right. So now you put these arms in block formation for the combined mode because they don't fit inside the head in this different scheme. Yeah, because blot doesn't do anything with them in beast mode. They just hang out as beast mode legs or arms, excuse me. But they tidy up right there, and then they've got a little slot in them. See the little slot there, and little pegs on the bottom of the beast mode head that kind of hold everything together. It wouldn't be bad if it didn't have that, but I really like that it does. We leave his little paws up. Yep, there we go, collapsed. And plug in the legs, and the legs and the arms get real tight up against each other there. But it works. I think we disconnected, but it's fine. No, we disconnect. We're doing something wrong? No. Okay. So there's our leg. Of course, we have the dagger, which we can put on the side. And I think that looks awesome. Where's the other leg? The other foot. For the purposes of education, when I give the guns to Terramander / Radart, that's what you can do with them. They look pretty cool right there. When I remember to do it. Alright. Okay. Tomorrow, I'm going to go check if my local toy store has a Rise of the Beast Deluxe Nightbird, Wheeljack, or Mirage. So I ended up getting the 3-pack with Cheetor, Nightbird, and Tire John. Knife almost fell off. And, they're okay. Nightbird's alright. Like, the only reason I haven't gotten rid of her is because the purple one, the metallic purple looks so good. But anyway, so there's our, there's that. So we make him the right leg, so we tilt the thing, give it that ankle tilt. Now him, he doesn't have the port. Oh, maybe he does. He does kind of have a thin port. Yeah, I'm going to be careful with these guys. I'm going to err on the side of safety, just because, you know, this is an expensive set, and you can't just buy one. So, which, speaking of buying one, I had a Nautilator that I sold a few months before I opened this, and I'm just, oof, I regret it. Alright, so 2 limbs down. Let's do the torso. Alright. How's everybody doing? Everybody alright? Yeah. This is a long live. This is gonna... I don't even know if this is gonna save. But we'll get the legs done. Get all these pieces off of him. Alright. So this is interesting. Because... So let's open that up. Fold the feet in. The feet are very generic feet. Very flappy. Like flat flaps. Oh, another piece that needed to be pinned on was the halves of these half shells that like to pop off, and they feel like they're gonna break every time. I hate those. So kind of get these in formation. Let's see. So this is kind of neat. So you pull the head up, you fold this up and collapse it, and then this is the flap that has where you can hide the robot head that you want to turn around and fold up so it's facing up into the torso, so that his little poop hole doesn't have a face in it, or birth canal. We don't know. This could be a chick when it combines. We don't know which one of the individual modes it identifies the gender with most, if any. They. Okay. So that's... Oh, and this is kind of neat. Rotate that, fold that up, and everything kind of pegs in. I don't like that really neat Predacon symbol vanishes in the combine mode, because it's so present for both of Shellblazer's other modes, you know. But, like, what are you going to do, you know? Can't be perfect. With the ports on the outside of the legs, they don't even change position for the combine mode. You kind of have to shove them on past the feet or pull them out a bit, whatever. They go on. Pull them up because you want them to be sticking up as high as possible because these blades go up high on the chest, which, speaking of the chest, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh! I did want to point out for Scoldfish's leg mode, so the fin ends up on the tail fin ends up on the back of Sea Fang. You can plug his tail fin into the back of the foot. And it gives it a sort of symmetry. Like it's the back of the leg, back of the foot, but you know, it's there. Again, I cannot state enough how much I love this set. It's such a fun set. All right, I don't see where the shell went. Did it fall? Oh, here it is. So you want to put the blades on, which I'm torn on. Sometimes I like to leave them off. Like, I'm going to do both right now so you can see, you know, like, I'm not sure which one I like better. I'm really not. So we're going to leave it like that for a minute while we finish building. You all know how Combiner Wars stumps work. You just plug them into the old things. Love, love, love what they settled on with Combiner Wars as far as the ports and pegs go, because it's just a good design. You know, Power the Primes, or not Power the Primes, Power Core Combiners, and FOC Bruticus. Oh my god. Everybody basically had a peg sticking out because Onslaught had the 4 pegs that actually plugged into the ports on everyone else, but everyone else's port was a big peg basically sticking out of them. And by putting the negative space on the Combiner torso, you only have 1 peg on each character and then no pegs on the torso. And it's just like, that's the way to do it. Like, it's just, God. You know, even if you could find a way for the torso to have all the pegs, but they were jointed, and then all of the individual modes have the negative, you know, the port. I'm still annoyed with what they did to Nightbird in the movie. Not a lot of the characters had a lot of character in Rise of the Beasts. I mean, it was very, I don't want to say it was mid. It was kind of mid. It was better than mid, but it was like kind of just barely. Optimus reminded me of a Khan in the movie by the way he acted. Not as much as Bayverse Optimus. Rise of the Beast Prime was kind of brutal, though. I feel like they were really taking cues. And I know a lot of the complaints about Bumblebee and why we haven't had a Transformers movie since 2018 is because, you know, people said there wasn't enough action. They were burnt out from the last night. So, and Bumblebee was just a little too mellow. And so they wanted to put that in, but I feel like kind of with how brutal Prime is in this one, they may have taken the wrong lesson. And you know what you can do with these is tilt it if you want to. I may actually do that. I'll leave that like that for the moment, because it doesn't have to go all the way up. Okay. Arms. We're going to do Skilla, who has the weirdest limb. So the reason I didn't use Terramander / Radart or Scylla / Skilla as the legs is because I think they look bad as legs. I like these boys as legs because they make really cool kneecaps, which A, look good, B, look somewhat symmetrical, and C, cover up the combiner ports. Like, those exposed does not look good to me. And I think both Terramander, Radart, and Scylla Skilla, you kind of expose those ports, and they didn't have the neat looking leg. Like, hi Transformers G1.Chile. How you doing? We're doing Beast Wars 2 Seacons live review right now. I'm working on the combined mode, talking about stuff. Yeah, stuff. So she does make a weird arm. She's not, but I think she makes a better arm than leg. And let's see, he left. Well, it's okay. It's okay. We're having a good time regardless. So let's see. Is that one leg is really tight since I swapped them. So I get the legs really at an angle, and then so the legs, when they were swapped, originally had there was supposed to be a plug-in. There's a little peg on the tentacle there, and a little slot there. It's fine. You can kind of rest them in there, and it's not like they're going anywhere. They're not falling. So that ends up being that part of the arm. And then I'll like to take her guns, stick them on the side. It's really tight on the side. Like I'm afraid of breaking the handle of the weapons tight, but just gingerly, gently, and cautiously. The other thing that's weird about her arm is she sort of has this tilt on the wrist, like it's tilted up, which is sort of like really unnatural. Like I can't tilt very much up. Down is what you can do, really. But it's got that tilt. You can't fix it because of the way the arm forms. But again, like her beast mode face ends up upside down on the combined mode as a leg, which I don't think looks good on a combiner. And I talked about how she was one of the reasons I was apprehensive about opening this set. Part of it was like the way that leg looked and not knowing how she was going to work as an arm. So she is a perfectly serviceable arm, but as of the chosen limbs that I've picked out, she's definitely my least favorite of the limbs. Because these two rock either mode. Arm or leg, they're fine. They end up being the legs because they're better legs than those two. These two, Radar makes a good arm, but she just makes sort of a passable arm. And that's unfortunate. And that also does make me wish, for a couple of reasons, that they'd done Nautilator as Lobhammer. Or Labhammer, or whatever. I don't know. So we're putting the legs together again to make the arm for Radar, which means I can put the blast effects in there, or put them on his knuckles, which looks really cool. Love that. Knuckle blasters, man. The Combiner Wars HFG that I liked the best was the one with these square cannon blastery things on them. Oh man, thought they looked really cool. Really into that. And the other problem with Radar Terramander is that none of his beast mode head really, to any extent, gets used in either of his combined mode forms. The arm and the leg, they both do that. And it's like the eyes are down there, they're not even on the side, and even if they were, you've got to close up the wing, and it doesn't, like, it would be cool as like a knee blade, like that's fine, that's cool, but yeah, so he's a much better arm in my opinion. He looks really good as the shoulder wing. But yeah, it makes me really sad they didn't do Lobhammer because I feel like I would have more balance with, and this peg is hard to get out. I feel like I'd have more balance with Sea Fang and Sea Phantom. Just like symmetry-wise. And then also I love playing with Sea Fang. And taking him off and being able to replace him, and or leaving him on and swapping Scylla with Scoldfish / Quelagon / Gulf would be really cool. And I can't do that. So this being a 5-team set, oh man, would love Lobhammer. So we've got all our dudes on. So I kind of see, you kind of can't tilt this very much because it would get in the way of the arm, but you can a bit. It kind of exposes the cannon more. But yeah, I'm on the fence. I do like that it covers up this shoulder straight line a bit. Like it looks a little bit more stylized, a little less basic bitch robot, but that's fine. What's really neat is there's this port to make this a shield, and then there's this gap on the shell, and that big extended port fits in that gap. It doesn't plug in, but that's just how it like hides, how it coalesces in. All right, so that is our combined mode, I think. Yeah, so I much prefer these hands. I feel like they fit in with the color scheme. The grays are almost identical to the limbs that they're on. And the silvers obviously work. Silver's always great. And yeah, what a freaking combined mode. Oh my god. I love this thing. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I cannot say enough good things about it. And I have so few complaints. I mean, obviously it has the Combiner Wars stability issues, but it's way more stable than Abominus. I keep forgetting to say his name. I need to put Abominus together and do a comparison to these guys, but we're approaching 3 hours. And I don't know if I'm going to edit this and try and make a functioning review of it. Legacy Metroplex has some very unique Autobot logos. I think he's the only figure with this type of bot logo. Is it like the movie bot logo? Or are they just like a different color? Or is it like outlined or something? Oh boy. Okay. So we'll give him the... I wish that... Because Skilla just does not look as good as a right arm. Like, it just throws off the look. Like, I know functionally there's no difference. And you guys are going to be seeing it in reverse anyway. Wait, are you? Are you? Yeah, you are, because this is a mirror. Functionally, it's no different. Like, it's all the same layout. It's just he looks better as a right arm. But obviously, I want to give the guns to the gun and the... Yeah, so, you know. But, oh my god. It's like puffy cartoon logo, not like G1. So it just doesn't have hard lines on the logo. Anyway. Oh, baby. To have a G1 style... Because I have Predicus, and I have the BotCon sticker set that I used to upgrade to make Magnaboss. But like an actual beast combiner that isn't Abominus, that isn't the Trainwreck of Volcanicus, that has actual beast modes in this color scheme. I just absolutely adore this thing. It has followed me from room to room for weeks now because it's so pretty. I love it so much. So the muches. I fold the little hand claw things up on the back there. You don't notice them. Doesn't matter. It's one of the issues that the Silverbolt mold has had from the get-go. But what are you gonna do, man? Like, can you tell I'm tired? I'm getting real tired. I've been talking for a long time. Oh my god, I love this thing. But, you know, she still has guns on this arm, on the left arm. And of course they have the knuckle blasters, which most of the flame effects will fit in because most of them are rubbery. This actually looks really cool. I have considered buying a second Cyberverse Hot Rod, which I hate. I hate Cyberverse Hot Rod just for this right here. Just for like, kind of like resting, like he's not blasting fire, but like, it's like the flame is lit for a flamethrower, and it could blaze at any moment. Oh my goodness, looks so cool. Here, I'm gonna put it on the other arm so you can see it. I'm gonna send you a logo. Okay, you're sending me stuff. My hands are full though. Sorry, but yeah. So technically, part of this is a BotCon exclusive because of the hand, and then Datum Ironhide on the side there. Name something better. Just name a better combiner. I'm sorry. Yeah, and the problem is, for years, I was really trying to make Skylinks with the Dinobots my favorite combiner. But it just... The problem with Skylynx is he's too cool. He's too unique. No one fits with him. I have these leftover weapons. There is sort of a combined gun thing you can do. I don't care. I don't. Like, it doesn't appeal to me. I think the Scylla guns can combine, and then it's got the peg that combines. You can stick it into the barrel of the gun. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to do an Abominus comparison. I don't feel like combining those. I'm wore out. 3 hours, man. 2 hours and 50. Hello, Earth of Homuzu. Hi, Earth of Homuzu. Welcome to the live stream for. Bye. He left. It's gonna show it off, but oh, 3 hours. I don't even know what to talk about. I forgot like half the things I wanted to say. What's good, guys? What's good? I'm gonna probably wrap it up pretty soon. I don't think there's anything else I want to say. You know what? I am gonna do Abominus. Yeah, I know you have. You're the only person who's been here for more than 2 minutes, and you've been here the whole time, which I appreciate. Now, I don't know. I don't think I have any. I don't have any. I don't have the feet handy for Abominus, but I'm gonna get him all combined up. Just so you can like see the bulk difference in these things. Like it's truly amazing the fact that like these are all based on the same mold, but they're just so different. Oh darn it, this is supposed to be an arm. So different in bulk, like not just the accessories they come with, but like the bulk of the individual figures is so impressive in comparison. Because they still technically feel like deluxes, but they feel like just beefy deluxes. All right. I gotta go find some feet. Hang on. Okay. I kind of didn't find any feet. I don't know why I can't find any. Oh, I had one over here. Where'd it go? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This building, he sucks. He sucks. I hate this Abominus. Such a bad toy. Really disappointing because I was so excited for a Beast Combiner. Like when they announced him and I was seeing the images, I was super happy about it, but like, and I like Center Twin so much I bought the big one. KO. Like I really tried to like this set, and it's not a good set. So I do, let's see. Just give me a few minutes to get this transformed. And transform him up. So I don't do the traditional Abominus combination either. I don't know what Center Twin ends up as. I don't care. Does anyone care? The formation of Abominus. Yeah, Mirage was really unique in the movie. Like I said, I was kind of frustrated with how much I liked him. Like it was. I think the problem with this Abominus, oh god, is that it's cheap. It just none of it feels special. And I think for me, that's my real complaint with Transformers toys these days is nothing feels special. Nothing hits. You know what I mean? Like there's no like even this guy. Like okay, obscure one-off character, like one-off like he's in one series. I don't think he's ever been, homaged or remade. He's got this sword, right? Twist it around, bend it down, now it's a gun. Simple. Not great, but like there's something special about it, and that's his. I love I know this mold gets a lot of flack, but I really like this mold. And it's very unique. The tank turret is the waist swivel. He's got all the C-clips. The transformation is a pain, but it's very unique. And it's just, there's so much to it. It feels, and they even like the original was Darkmount or Straxus. Like this mold isn't unique technically because there's two of it character-wise, but it's just, it looks, I don't know, there's something about it that feels special. And a lot of I think the big two that really hit me as they were just really mid was Earthrise Wheeljack and Earthrise. Oh, you cheap piece of garbage. Did you really just fall apart on me? All right, hang on. Earthrise Wheeljack and Double Dealer. Which really, why would you name yourself that? That's a dumb name. That's setting yourself up for failure. And he was a failure. But I don't know. Like they were so. Double Dealer was just bad. Just in general. But and he didn't feel special for a leader class toy, a $50 downsized leader class toy. And I'm calling it that. They're ultra. That's an ultra class toy. It's just, and Wheeljack, I bought it and I immediately was just like, something's not right. Yeah, the wheels were too small. It's just, there's just something about it that just wasn't hitting at all. And it hurt. It stung. There was no, I feel like Transformers toys these days just 100% lack pizzazz. And, I felt that with these Power of the Primes Terracons too, and the Dinobots. It's just, everything is just so painfully mid right now. And I don't think it's going to change. And I think part of the problem is that everything is posable. So everything is on an even keel posability wise, which, I held that guy up and he's got ankle tilt, the Skullgrin. He's got ankle tilt. But, and so that feels special on him. That can't feel special anymore. And when everyone's on an even keel, and everybody's talking about all the fans are now talking about what do you call them? The mold things, or the pieces that are all gang molded together. That's not the term they use, but in the actual thing that they're molded. I don't even know the term because I don't care to learn it. Everybody's talking like they're in the industry and talking about budgets and everything. The fans shouldn't be talking about budgets. Why? And I know a lot of this has to do with the live streaming and audience interaction and whatnot. And it's I don't know. The fun to me is the presentation. You buy the thing and you experience it. You don't worry about budgets. You're not oh, I wonder how they budgeted in this stuff, or I understand why this is kind of mid because they had to, I don't Don't talk to me about budgets. So, I feel like that is not a conversation that should be happening. Like, we should be enjoying these things. And it's kind of becoming Star Wars, where, like, everyone's talking about all the stuff behind the scenes, and they're just not enjoying it anymore. Like, I think even the people that like Star Wars just aren't taking their foot off the brakes and enjoying it, or taking their foot off the gas, I should say, and enjoying it. Like, everybody's so involved, and like, I can't even say anything because like I know so much about the production of Beast Wars, but like that's so far after the fact that like it's enhancing my enjoyment because it's after so many years, and it's building on what I've already experienced with the show. My experience with the show, the newness of it has worn off. And now anything I know direction wise or behind the scenes or how it's built or like how it's produced is adding to that. It's after the experience. And I feel like when we get that as a part of the initial experience, it takes away from it. Like I used to love director's commentary on old shows and movies I watched, like Batman the Animated Series. Obsessed with it. But like that was also like 15 years after I'd watched the show, so it was this new layer that was added on top of it. But if you're listening to directors commentary, you know, after the movie's been out a year, you're not really, I don't know, you're not adding to the experience. I don't have anywhere to put that. You're not adding to the experience in my mind. You're just, I don't know. When they're so closely tied, it makes it difficult for me to enjoy it. And I think that was kind of my issue with the Star Wars sequels, is like it was so obvious what was going on behind the scenes that you couldn't enjoy it as a story being told. And like there were issues with the story on top of that, but that was kind of the problem, is like you could see, anyway, get off Star Wars because that never needs to come up. So I don't know if this comes across on camera, but the sheer bulk difference between these two, like, technically shouldn't be there, but there's so much more of a hit and a vibe with this guy than this thing, minus its feet. It goes so much harder using what is essentially the same thing, but again, and just objectively better. Yes, this is a fantastic combiner. If, you wanted King Poseidon or Piranacon, and you couldn't afford it, or you can't afford it now because of the whole third-party thing, this is a good substitute. I mean, I think it objectively looks better. Color-wise, yes, you're missing the sixth party member, but, oh, man, so worth it. Skilla's arm ends up a little weird. You have this, like, flap on her elbow, but, it's no worse than all the Predikings ever. So, who joined our chat? I missed someone joining on Instagram. Who is it? Say hi. Oh, they left. All right. So, anyway, unbelievably amazing toy. Obviously, a couple of my twists and touches on it. You could always light her up, girls. It's so bad. Something about this guy being a flame dude. I don't know what it is. I'm going to use this one because it's lighter. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. Oh, I drilled... So, the Transmetal 2 Megatron flame effect and the TLK Leader Class Megatron flame effect, they don't have the 3mm port. It's weird because the Transmetal 2 Megatron one looked like it did, but it doesn't. So anyway, I drilled a hole in them, and they work on the 5mm. Because some of the... Oh, yeah, these were made during Siege, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. I thought I guess I'm wrong. But they do have, a lot of them have the 5mm holes. I guess 3 of them do. Oh, there we go. It's these little guns have the 3mm peg, and it's incidental, I think. I don't think it was meant to be what it is, because it's actually got a hole in it too. One of the things that drove me nuts about the Siege pegs is that they didn't have a hole in the middle of the peg to make it look like a gun. So it just looked like a gun that didn't have a hole in the barrel. But these do. Just so much fun with this set. But you can put... Oh, it is too heavy. I've tightened up that elbow before. It just doesn't... and it's hard to get the clear coat in there to thicken it up because of the way it's designed. I would have to actually like really take it apart, and I don't want to do that. I've already done that with one figure on this set. So, but yeah, something about this guy being a flamethrower just really, I don't know, the conflict of imagery of them being, you know, water-based but shooting fire. I feel like if I had more lightning effects, I would potentially use those and or these. Or maybe have some lightning, some fire. I don't know. Because I think I've got a couple water effects, but like none of these guys have tanks on them. So like in my brain, I can't justify it. I can't justify that, but I can do this. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm weird, and this is weird, and it's good, and you should buy it, and it's lovely, and it's just so shiny. And the only spots it's weaker than its source material is the fact that it don't got the chrome and it don't got the 6-member. But other than that, it's, in my opinion, otherwise objectively better. The joints on mine are good. Obviously, you have the Combiner Wars stability issues. And remember, he's heavier than most Combiner Wars limbs and torsos. So, you know, but as the sum of his parts, like, he holds up really well. And I can actually score some poses with this guy. It's... Oh! Okay, all right, so I've got all the names, right? I've named all these guys. Radart, Skilla, Scoldfish, Seafang, and Shellblazer. Supremacy. Yeah. That is, to me, the American side name for God Neptune. Because, you know, God Neptune's not like a great name. Like God Bomber, yeah, that's cool. But God Neptune, I don't know. King Poseidon, meh. Like, I'm sure it's fine for the Japanese that don't predominantly speak English, so it's got sort of an austere to it, maybe. Because it's weird for me to think of English as, like, not my primary mode of conversation and information sharing. So, like, I want to go for something else. And if that isn't the quintessential pun name for this 5-man set, I don't know what is. Oh, I don't know if I have anything else. Metroplex is probably the most unique Titan ever made so far. For his posability is unrivaled. How does he do what he does without scanning? Oh. Let's not do Rise of the Beast spoilers for no no one's here. It's fine. It's fine. Also, yeah, source material awesomeness of a sword trident. A swordant? I don't know. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. I love it. That is, I mean, it almost is an axe. Like, when you combine the two, it almost becomes an axe. I can think if you more traditionally had a sword blade and then the, like, prongs, it would look, but, like, because they turned the trident prongs into a hacking weapon because of the sword element, it becomes an axe. A sword accident. A triax sword. None of those work. None of them. So, but no, that's a bitchin' weapon. I don't think it's chromed on Piranacon, the Selects Piranacon, but oh my god, this thing. I love it. So, spoilers for Rise of the Beasts. I don't think Mirage mass shifted to turn into the garbage truck. I think what happened was the front of the garbage truck was Mirage and the back half was a Mirage. So you end up with him having 2 wheels on the ground, and we know 2-wheeled robots can balance from Side Swipe and RC in this, and one-wheeled robots can balance for the RCs in Revenge of the Fallen. So he could theoretically balance, and or maybe there's like he has like a pole with a tire in the middle of the garbage truck, so that it can't be seen from like people just looking at it casually. And then everything behind the cab is a mirage. So it's actually just the cab driving forward with maybe like that third wheel sticking out the back that can't be seen. Hell, he could probably mirage away the third wheel, honestly. So, she's beautiful. This is the rival of Rampage for me. The Rampage that made it to Beast Machine Cybertron before Megatron took over and fought some Seacons. Trying to think, is there anything else? I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to look at this guy. And I think, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. So the wrist on Scylla is kind of weird because it's angled up, but you can... No, this doesn't work. It's not worth mentioning. Never mind. I'm going to rotate it back. I was going to say you could make it look like the wrist is like that if you rotate it, but the way the joints work, it doesn't work. It doesn't, if that's what you're thinking. All right, let's put this back on. I'm fighting with my toys. My toys are fighting with me. Okay. Now what you can do is kind of, if you get the tentacles out of the way, you can kind of rest it on his shoulder. Yeah, so that the wrist thing ends up working sort of in the favor of that. And you end up with this sort of like casual sword wielder look. And then he's got his blaster. You know, the first time I ever saw any character, I think, wielding a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, a gun and a sword that is, was an Evangelion toy I saw on my buddy's brother's shelf back in like middle school. And I didn't know what it was, but I was just like, that's such a strange, like it was such a weird conflict of things coming together for me. Like I could barely wrap my head around somebody with a gun and a sword. It was so weird. But like I also thought it was really cool, and like it worked with the design of the thing that I was looking at that I didn't at the time know was an Evangelion. And it was cool. But now everybody's got a sword and a gun. Like it's what we do now. At least in my house. So I mean, Rampage. So it's got a sword and a gun right there. It's a gun made from an arm of a Borg, but yeah, Cybermet, is there anything else you want me to talk about before we wrap up? Oh, and I kind of like the balance, because he's got the gun here, sword here, and then a melee here, and guns here. So like there's like this gun, melee, gun balance to this thing, and then the blades here, and there is so much to love here in terms of a Combiner Wars style combiner that this is a must-have, in my opinion. This mold, not the Abominus, this Piranacon, King Neptune, God Neptune, Supremacy is the motherfucking one. Like, I know people liked the Selects Volcanicus, but like, it just still looked bad to me. The teeth, it just, look, this bad boy. Keep that bad boy away from all light. He is such a cool figure. So in terms of what Mirage was able to do in the movie, spoilers, kind of soft spoilers, one moment spoilers, being able to turn into the race car in the Lambo, I think that was a hologram. Like, it was very clearly CGI in the movie. Like, they didn't have actual physical cars there. And to me, not intentionally by the creators, but that just, to me, makes it feel more like he was just creating the. And I know the garbage truck was physically a model, that like a physical garbage truck on set. But like, to me, it tells me that those were whatever. He was just hologramming it. Like, those weren't actual things he had scanned. But like, also, why not? Why couldn't they keep like files of previous things they've scanned to turn into and just do it? Like, what is a scan, right? So maybe it's like mega gigaterabytes of data, but if they're, robots that are millennia old, theoretically, depending on which continuity you're from, why couldn't they just, like, save a file, put it on a USB drive, and put it in your butt? Like, you're a robot. So that doesn't bother me. Worst case scenario, those are mirages. Like, the concept, not the guy. Or the concept and the guy. A lot of talking about Mirage in this video. You like Mirage, don't you? You like him. I like him. Also, him controlling the Noah holograms in the first. That was good. Yes. I feel like Noah's CGI in the final act was kind of blurred, and it felt very spoilers Iron Man-y. But I also get like it was in the first G.I. Joe movie. We're getting into real spoilers now. In the first G.I. Joe movie, they wore those suits, and it kind of had the vibe of those suits. And since we're doing a G.I. Joe crossover with the end of the film, I really thought it was going to lead into Sector 7. Because Sector 7 was in Bumblebee. And I don't know if they were called that. I think they were, but they may not have been. But, I mean, they were in the Hoover Dam. Like, that was Sector 7. Like, that Sector 7 base is like the macadam's old oil house of Earth, where it's like living in between all dimensions for me. Like, they have Bayverse Megatron and the Cube there, and they've got stuff from the Bumblebee universe and like all the stuff that just to think about, like, there's somewhere on Earth that is a multi-dimensional thing, like who have I got on YouTube? Say hi in chat. We were doing a review. Oh, they left. They all leave me. Anyway, just the idea that there's a macadam's oil house type. Hi, DTT. Hi, DTT. Somewhere on Earth that's interdimensional. An interdimensional location. It's got vibes of Howl's Moving Castle and Doctor Who-ish. I mean, obviously those things don't travel through dimensions, but that air where you can walk through a door and be somewhere and or when else. Like, that's Sector 7, Hoover Dam. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, these guys are pirates. Yes. Transformers pirates, please. I got Cannonball somewhere. I got a Cyberverse Cannonball from Goodwill. I think he's going down. I can't tell. He's not. Is he going to fall? Are you going to fall? Let's just tilt you back there a minute. Not Cyberverse, Cybertron. One of the only... Oh, he's a dust bunny. It's so dusty because the door right there. And he's been there for a minute. Yeah. Cyberverse Cannonball. Hang on. Oh no! My YouTube one fell down. Anyway, yeah, Cybertron Cannonball. And I had it for years, and it took me forever to figure out who it was. I think so. These are Galaxy Force guys, Cybertron guys. I think these are my only Cybertron toys. Yeah, I think so. So I really like them. But like I had him for a long time, and I couldn't figure out who he was because I couldn't figure out the mold, and I just thought he was so cool. He's got the the Dia de los Muertos tats, and he's got a really cool color scheme, and you can kind of do like a spider mode with him. Oh, hear that plastic? That's oh, I'm doing the wrong one. That's quality right there. You can sort of do this sort of spider mode for him. Give him like a Mojo vibe from X-Men. Mojo sucks. That's weird. He's a weird guy, but like, you could do the quadruped thing. She didn't land on my hand right, but you get the idea. And he looked so cool. My phone's down to 20%. Cannonball looks like Rise of the Burst Nightbird. Rise of the Burst Nightbird. But yeah, he's got cool light piping, and like he's a chunk bastard. Like there's nothing about him that's subtle or like sleek or bendy. He's very, very much not taking your yoga classes. But I don't know. I really like him. I really like this guy. I cried. You really want to talk about Rise of the Beast? I liked the movie. I really enjoyed watching the movie when I was watching the movie. But, after it was over, I just kind of went home. And like, yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10, but like, and it's hard because the week before, like less than a week ago, I also saw Guardians 3, which is still selling out. Okay. The theater was so full that 3 of us showed up and we all 3 had to sit separately. Like, and the only reason I actually ended up getting sit next to one of my people is because someone didn't show up. Someone who had a seat reserved didn't show up, and I waved her to sit next to me, and we got to see the movie next to each other. But like, oh my God, Guardians 3, go see Guardians 3. All right, here's my Marvel spiel. Marvel is dead. The last great Marvel movie is Guardians 3. James Gunn, the only guy who actually gave a crap about that franchise, just left. He wasn't coasting. He's not Kevin Feige or Jon Favreau, who's either distracted or coasting or not caring or whatever, spread too thin, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, whatever label you want to assign to it. James Gunn just left the franchise, and he left the most golden piece of movie behind to go do DC. It's the last great Marvel movie, in my opinion. It's going to be the last one. It's going to peter out into obscurity. Oh, it was so good. I literally cried at one point. I literally cried. Like, I don't cry during movies. They don't hit me that way. And it took me, man. Like, and I was holding fine. And then this one thing happened. I was just like, damn you movie. Like, it was so good. It's so good. Go see Guardians 3. If you liked Rise of the Beast, if you think that's a 10 out of 10 movie, you're going to think that Guardians is a 12 out of 10 because it's abso-freaking-lutely awesome. Spoilers. How did Mirage turn into the suit for Noah? He's literally a transforming robot from space. Like, I think the bigger issue is why did they speak English before they got to Earth? I don't know, man. Doesn't matter. We have learned Earth's languages through the World Wide Web, specifically eBay and something called OnlyFans. So, which would explain some of the things some of them say. Yeah, Cannonball's pretty cool. I got him for super cheap in like a baggie of Transformers like 10 years ago. Really fun toy. Really fun toy. Maybe 12 years ago. I don't know. Long time ago. And he was old then. Like, he was like 7 years old then. And it's been, oh my God, almost twice that since. So, but yeah, that's quality paint job, quality plastic, quality gimmick. So, yeah. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up because I started talking about totally unrelated toys. Put him back on my bounty hunter shelf. Pirate, whatever. That has been the video review of Generation Selects, Beast Wars 2, Seacons, God Neptune, Supremacy, Terrormander, Raydart, Half Shell, Shellblazer, Half Shellblazer, Silascilla, Coelagon Scoldfish, and Sea Phantom Sea Fang. I've been PhelesDragon. Thank you for watching. If you've been here, thank you, Cyber Metroplex, for sticking with me the whole time, the whole 3 hours and 30 minutes of this live stream, and no one else. And yeah, have a good one. And thank you for watching.